Welcome to the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show on iHeartRadio. Coming up, we talk with our partner in car grime, John Gray at Gulf Coast Auto Shield, and the Clean for Spring movement that's going on right now, taking place. Jeffrey has our pre-owned car of the week, the 2006 Bmw M3. Conrad's out today, but one of us will take over the duties of the racing calendar, and we'll also have the stories making automotive news headlines this week. It's just ahead on this edition of the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Howdy, along with Mike Out of This World Mars. We need more, Jeff Zekin.
We do. We're going to have more today.
I'm Don Armstrong. So glad that you could join us today. It's kind of a gloomy day here in southeast Texas, but it's only temporary. There's another little front that's rolling through right now. They're not really going to change the weather that much, and it's going to be another beautiful day, spring day here in the Houston area.
The sun will be out.
Sun will be out, and it's matter of fact, I've been seeing a lot of, I was going to say T-tops, but Targa roofs that are off. Ran into a guy yesterday that had a 2001 Corvette out at the Mecum Auction, and he was backing out of the parking space. I told him, I said, "Hey, man, nice car." He said, "Hey, thanks a lot, man. Love all the sunshine and everything." I've seen a few convertible tops down out there. People enjoying the weather. Saw a guy yesterday in MX-5, the old Miata thing.
Yeah.
And he had his little Jeffrey Zekin car cap on.
There you go.
He had his earphones in,
Beautiful.
and he was styling down the road.
Yeah,
the only thing that he needed was a car wash.
Well, I had my sunroof open most of this week, and it's kind of hard because my hair gets in my eyes, and it's
Yes, I
it's
know.
just difficult.
And if you're not familiar with Jeff's hair, I can promise you that there's none there.
Yeah. All right.
Mr. Mars, how are you? What are you doing over there? Who are you typing?
I'm trying to get George to join us here and talk about this in about 8:30-ish.
Yes, we were. If you've noticed in our wide shot here, we have 2, 4, 6 taco trophies, and we're not quite sure why. We were a couple of weeks ago over at the Lupi Tortilla for the quarterly
Car show.
The cruise in out there, tailpipes and tacos, and I'm a little bit puzzled by the taco awards, and I don't know whether we're supposed to pass those out to favorite people of ours,
Or maybe the next.
we can give them to each other.
Yeah, the next cruise in.
Just every show
You don't get it.
pass them around.
You get none.
Well, that's been my life for about the last year.
There's a taco
No,
on it.
I'm talking about the trophy.
Oh, okay.
It's got a picture of a taco. Conrad's going to eat it. I'm telling you right now.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. So
The good-looking taco.
Conrad is doing his, I guess, civic duty in Austin, Texas this
Is
weekend.
that what it is?
I guess it's some sort of duty.
His parole officer
And
called.
that's spelled D-O-O-D-Y.
duty.
Duty.
He said duty.
Duty.
Oh, Lord.
Duty.
Duty. So joining us right now is Mr. Mr. Johnny Gray, and with Gulf Coast Auto Shield. John, it's great to see you. Thanks so much for joining us today.
Morning, boys. How are y'all?
Good. Do you have any of the staff showing up there at the Gulf Coast Auto Shield this morning?
We will have we don't run much staff on Saturdays anymore. We're trying to limit the amount of time that all of us stay here. So
Neither
I tell
do we.
customers we're open from 9:01 to 10:59 on Saturday mornings, and that's it. We're out of here. Yeah, I got a couple guys. I got to get a car over to Mac Hike, and we have 2 or 3 cars leaving this morning. So I have a little bit of help coming in.
So before we went on the air this morning, I was kind of reminiscing with John just a moment, actually, only on my side. He didn't really say a whole lot, but gosh, John, how long have I known you now? 9, 10 years? Huh?
8, 9 years.
Yeah, something
maybe
like that.
2013, 2014.
Yeah. And
Started out.
yeah, and boy, have things grown in the business world for you. Congratulations on a job well done, my friend. You know, so many people that start businesses really don't make it past the first year. And not only have made it past the first year, I mean, the guy's he just moved into his new facility here a year ago, and he's looking for more space again. And you only do that when word gets out that you do a great job at what you do, and we appreciate our friendship with you.
You can't do it unless you're successful.
Well, and we appreciate our friendship with y'all as well. And I tell you, it's I had the idea of building a business, basing it on customer service as much as it was the products that we sell. And I tell you, it really works because, I try to ask everybody that comes in, where did you hear about us? And was it on Google or what have you? And the overwhelming majority of people, they say that it's they heard it from a friend, or
Yes.
somebody on a forum talked about it. So that's as meaningful as I think anything when you hear people that want to suggest you to their friends and family.
You cannot buy advertising like word of mouth. I mean, that's just one of those deals that, hey, man, I know this guy. Man, I've said that to several of my friends, that they have said to me, well, I'm thinking about a wrap, or I'm thinking about putting a clear bra on, or I don't know what to do with the paint. I said, go and talk to John, and he will steer you in the right direction. And you've always done such
and it's also not overselling people that come in too. You don't need to sell them everything we got. You sell them what they need and nothing else.
That's right.
And if they feel like they need more, you want to make sure that people are comfortable when they walk in the door. And
Well,
that's important.
when John started this business, I mean, here was a guy that knew how to wash a car. Now that may sound really simple, but and it is for most of us a simple process. But
there's a way.
But if you want to do it the right way and not ruin the finish that you have on your car, and to make it pretty once again, John has all the details and the tips and the right way to wash a car. As simple as it may sound, it's not as simple as it really is.
No, it's not.
And one of the things that we do here that I think is important when these people come and pick up their car, from getting, maybe a paint correction, ceramic coating, what have you, is, the offer stands. You come back, we're going to help you wash your car the first time, and let's teach you the right way to do it. I wish more people would take us up on that offer, because it's so important. You don't want to go out there and be back in the same situation you were when you needed a paint correction on a car that's, maybe a couple of years old. So there's definitely a way to do it. And, even if somebody who hadn't bought anything from us, they want to get information on proper car wash technique. Of course, it's easier to come by and see it and explain it than it is to talk on the phone about it. But that offer is open to everybody.
Last year for Christmas, I had my grandson got his first vehicle. So for Christmas, I went out and I bought the bucket and the sponges and the products and the things that you had taught us about.
All the stuff.
Yeah, all the stuff. And I took it to him, and he looked at it, and I said, here, this is what you need to wash your car. He said, well, I got a water hose. I said, no. And so I kind of went through it and tried to explain it to him. I don't know if it really settled in or not, but every time I see him, his truck looks pretty good.
Yeah, there's so many good videos too out there explaining the 2-bucket, 3-bucket wash method. So it's just a matter of getting out there and you can get the knowledge if you want to. And your car is going to look good for a while just washing it, maybe the traditional way, but certainly it's going to take its toll on the paint. I tell you what else is taking the toll on paint right now is people trying to remove pollen. I'm not, how long does the pollen last in use? And I forget.
Probably about 9 months. That's the way it feels anyway.
Okay. So it's not really severe yet, I don't think, but it's coming. And people are going out or what have you and want to clean their car up. There's certainly a tendency just to get towels and wipe it off, and that's certainly not the way to do it. There's also some dusters named after a liberal state on the West Coast that people may want to buy, and I would probably stay away from that as well.
Yeah.
Anything you're wiping on your car without some sort of, lubricant or some sort of detail spray is really not a good idea. So if you do have the right way to do it, if your car is clean, if you just wash your car and you come outside and it's covered with pollen, the right way to go about cleaning that car up is going to be to probably spray it down again and then dry it.
And but get it out from underneath the tree that's causing all the pollen.
Yeah.
Man, right now it hardly matters where you are.
Pretty much
it's everywhere.
Yep.
But if your car is really covered, I'd recommend doing and you don't want to go through the full wash technique. Use a rinseless wash. There's a couple of good rinseless washes on the market. and, get a bucket with some water and some good clean microfiber towels and a spray bottle with some of the rinseless mixture in it, and the rinseless mixture in the bucket as well. Go panel for panel, spraying and cleaning up, cleaning your car up that way.
I'm sorry, but I'm not familiar with that. Run that. What is it, and how does it work?
The rinseless washes are, they're pretty safe. So there's a couple of components to a rinseless wash. You've got the lubricant, you've got a surfactant, which is going to clean the paint, help you clean the paint more easily, remove dirt, what have you, that's on the paint. And so here's the technique. You're gonna take a rinseless wash, and you're gonna have a bucket. You're gonna have several microfiber fiber towels, and you're gonna have a spray bottle. So you'll just take a little bit of rinseless wash, pour it in your spray bottle, fill it up with water, and then put some in your bucket, some rinseless wash in your bucket with a bunch of several good microfiber towels, and then spray your hood with your rinseless wash that you've got going on in the sprayer. The reason why you want to do that is it adds lubrication, it helps you remove the dirt, and it encapsulates the dirt inside of the rinseless wash. So you're much less likely to damage the paint on your car using a rinseless wash than, say, using a waterless wash. I'm not a waterless wash guy at all. I don't, they damage your paint. There's no question about that. I've never seen anybody that can do an effective waterless wash, which is basically when you just spray and wipe with a dry towel. All right. So with the rinseless wash, you've got your spraying, and then you're going at it with a towel that's completely wet, and then you can go back and dry panel by panel. So you don't have to do the whole car. I wouldn't even recommend doing the whole car. I do a couple, 3 panels, and then dry those panels, and then go back and do some more panels on your car. It's a great way to do it in the wintertime too, because you can use warm water in your bucket inside your garage, because you're not going to make a huge mess. But if you don't want to do a full wash and your car's covered with pollen and not terribly dirty, yeah, you can use a good rinseless wash method.
Well, I have to tell you that one of the things that I've been a little concerned about is, I'm going to go on this hot rod tour of Texas at the end of the month, and I'm going to take the Corvette, and it'll be its first hot rod tour, along with a bunch of other people. Apparently, there's somewhere between 300 and 500 cars that are going to go on this, either the whole thing or at least sections of it. It starts in Victoria and goes up to North Texas over 3 days. And I've been worried about how in the world am I going to keep it clean? That's barring any thunderstorms or anything like that. But if it doesn't rain, I'm still going to get, road grime on there and that sort of thing, because it's a 2-hour trip from Sugar Land down to Victoria, Texas.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm not exactly sure when I get there. I can imagine the one hose that may be available somewhere and 300 cars lined up to use it. So I'm not exactly sure what to do.
Well, that's going to be a perfect scenario for a rinseless wash. When are you leaving on that tour, Don?
That would be, let's see, I'm going to leave on a Thursday afternoon. So I'm going to spend Thursday kind of detailing the car, get it ready.
The date.
What's
the date?
That is going to be on the 28th of April.
Okay. Can we get that car in here about a week before that? I want to make sure everything's good on it.
Yes, John, of course we can.
Yeah, like he's going to tell you, no, John.
No, I'm busy.
Well, and I'll get you what you need. So, man, you can even take if there's not a hose or anywhere to wash it, man, take some gallon jugs of water in a bucket in the back of the car.
See, this is why we have him on.
Yeah, and it's a simple, it's a really, really simple process.
He's going to have beer coolers in the back.
Yeah. So yeah, I know. You sure you don't want to go with us?
God, I'd like to take my car out there on that. That'd be fun.
I know. And we'd love to have you.
I might think about that.
Well, and if worse comes to worse, it just so happens that we could leave either your car or my car at the hotel, and we could, ride in one another's car to the cruise in at the drive-in, the Stars and Stripes drive-in, to watch the American Graffiti movie. And I've got some brand new brand new folding chairs that I'm really proud.
Oh yeah.
I'm working on getting all of this together for the big hot rod tour of Texas.
That's going to be cool.
Yeah,
that's going to be cool.
So at any rate, so I'm going to bring it over there, I guess, the week of before I leave, and you'll have your way with my car.
Oh boy.
Yeah, give me a week on it. So if you leave on Thursday, I want it the Thursday before.
All right.
And I'm gonna put it on my calendar right now.
Okay. All right, you got it. And I'll let you do your magic to it. Now, I need to do a little detailing underneath the hood because I haven't done that in quite some time. So it's dusty and it's got a little, road grime underneath there. I need to work on that. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you'll be proud.
Be careful though. If you're going to do it yourself, you got to make sure all your electrical connections are covered, and whatnot. Because if you don't want to go spraying your engine.
No.
And getting something wet underneath there that doesn't need to be wet if it's not properly protected.
And you'll be pleased to know that I have a new lighting system on it that I paid good money for. It now has bi-xenon headlights, and all of the others are LEDs, and it's really nice. It made it a whole new car.
Can you say that now? Bi-xenon? Is that
illegal? Bi-xenon.
Bi-xenon. Can you say
well,
that?
Well, it's kind of like the LBGTQ.
There you go.
It's one of those things for cars.
Okay, just making sure. Yeah, and this washless, the washless.
Princess wash.
Yes, that's like
Princess wash.
Taking a bath in a truck stop sink.
That Mars does that.
Yeah. Okay.
That's pretty accurate.
I have a story, but we're going to move
on. What's the story,
accurate.
Mars? What is the story?
He doesn't remember.
Years ago, we were going out to Porter to go racing. There was 3 cars on trailers. We had this little caravan going over from the Golden Triangle, and we pull in Conroe to make a stop, get some gas. Everybody used the bathroom and everything on the way. And this guy's girl goes in to go to the bathroom, and we wait and we wait and we wait and we wait and we wait. She decided to wash her hair in the sink before we got to the track.
Lovely.
At the Conoco station.
Well, it was a Shamrock station.
A Shamrock station.
High end. Class.
So,
it happens.
We're hoping that we don't have any car washes at the Shamrock station sink.
Well, I hope not either. That's not where I'd want to do it.
All right. Okay. Moving on. I have to ask you, what is the latest, greatest stuff when it comes to tire dressing, or is there?
There is actually. Well, my go-to is from a product from Fine Lab, and which is the company that we use for our ceramic coatings and Brentless wash and car wash. They make some pretty innovative stuff. Their tire dressing they actually have 2 of them. It's that one is called Black Magic or Black Velvet, and the other is a dressing. I don't think you can buy it from the public, but the one that the public can buy is going to last, I would say, if you prep your tire right, about 3 months. So
wow.
It's got some dye in it. It's got a little bit of solvent in it. So solvent is what's going to make the dye and the dressing more burrow into the pores of the rubber.
It's kind of like the same stuff I use on my hair.
Yeah, it burrows
similar.
in.
Yeah.
It's immediate. It's not over time. So like the hair.
It's not like Grecian formula.
So does it make it look like this glossy black, like it's plastic?
The more you put on, the glossier it will become. Well, it makes it a nice satin look.
And it doesn't good. It doesn't sling off when you drive.
No, you can run your finger over it within about 3-4 minutes.
The tire shines. You put on too much, it slings in.
Well, yeah, I have to tell you. So I've gotten into the no shine look. So I don't know what it is that I'm using, but I spray it on a rag and I wipe it on there, and it just makes it like it's a brand new tire. It doesn't put any shine on it or anything just like that. It's just a clean look.
Yeah.
That's my thing now.
Yeah,
exactly. The thing I can't stand is when people are spraying their tires and not wiping things on their tire, because you're inevitably going to get that dressing
On your paint.
on your wheels
Yep.
and on your paint. And what's that going to do? That's going to immediately start collecting dust.
Yep.
I
on your
remember
wheels. You
back,
can't keep them.
yeah, back in 1972, it was brake fluid. You put brake fluid on your tires.
Oh,
shine 'em.
Lord.
Remember
No.
that?
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
I didn't do brake
Yeah.
fluid. No, I'm good.
You can't brake fluid, shine them up.
Yeah. Or that
Hey, but-
god-awful stuff called Armor All. Oh,
Yeah.
Hey, but listen, the most important thing about doing tire dressing is prepping the tire. Nothing's going to last on a tire that has silicone tire dressing from the last time that the dealership messed with it. So the proper thing is make sure you get a good tire brush, which you can get anywhere, and use a degreaser or a wheel or tire cleaner, and prep that tire, scrub it down really good, and make sure it's perfectly clean and perfectly dry when you apply any sort of tire dressing.
yep. Well, John, it's always great to talk to you,
never heard
and so it's Gulf Coast Auto Shield, and he's got a full house. Call him, stop by, see him, and you'll have to schedule an appointment if you want to get work done on your car, because John's that busy, and for a good reason. It's great to talk to you, my friend.
Good to talk to you guys. I hope to talk to you again soon.
Well, I'm going to
Don-
see you in 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm gonna put you on my calendar.
You volunteered.
We'll follow up before that.
All right. Well, thank you very much. What'd you say, Mars?
I was reminding him that he volunteered.
He did volunteer. I will say that. I've taken the car over there dozens of times, and he is probably sick and tired of looking at that
Do you
black
have a
Corvette.
parking spot with your name on
Pretty
it? or
much.
anything?
It's in the back by the dumpster. John, thanks again, man. Talk to you soon.
Take care, boys.
You
Bye-bye.
too. It's so good to have a friend that, we've kind of grown up together in the business, us in the radio side of it and him in the actual car side of it. And it's great to have a friend like him. All right.
Good guy.
He is a great guy. Hey, I'd like to remind everybody that if you'd like to get in touch with us, just shoot us an email. The address is info@nwheeltime.com. Time now for the racing calendar.
Yes.
Now, this is something that Conrad always puts together. Did he send you the information?
He did. He absolutely
was
did.
nice
it
of
was
him.
nice, and we talked a little bit, and we
Yeah.
laughed, we cried. It was great.
Great. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. So racing, we got NHRA, which started actually yesterday. It's the 4 wide in Las Vegas. Not really a fan of it, but it's going on.
I'm not either.
And then you've got the Spring Nationals in Houston coming up. When? April 22nd through the 24th, which is going to be great because we will be there. The 29th through the 5th of May, you've got the 4 wide in Charlotte. So that'll be fun there. What happened?
Keep going
All right.
up. I'm just
So
messing with it a little
NASCAR
bit.
Cup for the April 3rd, which is tomorrow in Richmond. And then on the 9th is Martinsville Speedway. Formula One, not a big fan, so we'll just pass over that and go to Australian GP. We'll just blow by that. Really don't care
But
about
we did
that.
mention it. We did mention
it, so send your check too. Then IMSA. IMSA is always fun, and that's on April 10th. Streets of Long Beach, Mid-Ohio. And then IndyCar Racing on 410, Long Beach again. You got the WEC. And
Wait a minute, isn't that wrestling? WEC?
No, that's something. This is the
WCW
World
Championship Wrestling. Not that I know.
Yeah, you do. You probably are trying to promote it over there in Neaterville.
There you go. And that's it for the racing.
Well, that was quick.
Yeah,
that was
this
down
is shorty.
and dirty.
This
All
is
right.
shorty.
Well, now it's time for your big debut.
Oh yeah, my debut. And this was based on what you talked about last week. A suggestion.
The under 10 series.
Under 10 series.
Under 10,000.
And there are plenty of vehicles.
It's our pre-owned car of the week, and Jeffrey has that. The Bmw M3, is that it?
Yes, M3. Now the BMW M3 goes. The cars under 10,000 goes from 2000 to 2006 actually. In this category, it's a factory named E46. It's not the best bang for your buck, but according to the sports car blogs and things like that, it is a pretty good buy. From the smooth body lines to the mildly aggressive wheel arches. I didn't write this.
Do we have a picture of that?
Yeah. There you
Okay.
go. It's a little less than perfect, but the M3 is a high performance
I like
version
that
of the
car.
3 Series. Yeah.
I like that car.
It's a good looking car. it's got many improvements over the standard 3 Series. It's got a number of upgrades in the engine, improved handling, suspension, braking systems, and so on. Good cosmetics. It's a good body line. It's good wheel combination with the semi-spokes there. It's 333 horsepower engine.
Damn.
3,400 foot-pounds of torque. I'm sorry, 3,400 pounds over the quarter mile in 13 seconds. Yeah.
3,400 pounds.
Yeah, 3,400-pound car. It's faster than the 2008 Ferrari California and the 2013 V8 Dodge Challenger. So this was an import that was actually a performance vehicle. The pros about this vehicle, you get great performer. It's an on-road and off-road track performance. It's a good head turner. Comfortable interior with all that leather cushy stuff wrapping around your buttocks. The cons of this, extensive maintenance. You got to really keep this thing going on the road. Rear seating area is crowded. So if you got 2 people, that's probably plenty right there. Things to watch out for. Rear suspension coils, valve cover gaskets tend to do a little leakage. Subframe cracking on some early models, which had been recalled. Window regulator failures. You got to be careful of that because it is a 2006.
Hey, man, it's a used car.
Exactly. And you know this going into it. You got to watch for slow operation, listening, faint cracking noises. That happens to me when I get out of bed. So there's a few faint
So
cracking
you're used to that.
Yeah.
It's a 16-year-old car.
Exactly. Horsepower is 240 in the UK. It's 333 here in the US.
I believe that you mentioned that earlier.
Yeah, I did. Torque is 262. 0 to 60 in 4.8 seconds. Quarter mile is 13. Here's one important. The curb weight is 3,472
You mentioned
pounds.
that also.
But if you got your mother-in-law in it, it's more than that.
True.
Yeah. So, but it's a good buy if you want something under 10 grand. This is a good vehicle for that.
I like
more
the
to
way it
come.
looks.
Yeah, it's a good vehicle. I picked this one first. It was either this one or a Corvette. So I'm going to do the Corvette next week.
Okay.
So that'll be
Well,
fun.
how much is this thing?
This one's right at 10. Right
It
at
is?
$10,000. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, if you could find one that looked like that,
Yeah. And
that
of
would
course,
be good.
there's other shots, and you can get other colors, obviously. But I thought this, just a static shot of this, is a good-looking vehicle.
Hey, the In Wheel Time Car Show streams on iHeartRadio, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, which I'm doing now, and InWheelTime.com. Podcasts are available on your favorite podcast channel. The In Wheel Time Car Show will continue right after these quick messages.
Father's Day weekend, Saturday, June 18th, 2022. It's the next Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise-In, and you're invited. Tailpipes and Tacos Father's Day edition will be at the same Loopy Tortilla in Katy, 8 to 11 a.m. on Saturday, June 18th. It's the only place cruisers compete for trophies and other prizes. Enter your vehicle for Best Hot Rod, Best Classic, and Best Modern Classic. Tailpipes and Tacos is Houston's coolest cruise-in and is your opportunity to see the best hot rods, show cars, classics, and resto mods, and get Loopy Tortilla breakfast tacos and adult beverages. There's no entry fee, and cars will automatically compete for custom Loopy trophies and other prizes. It all happens at the Loopy Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard, just south of I-10. Kick off summer with Tailpipes and Tacos Father's Day edition, Saturday, June 18th. The In Real Time Car Talk Show will be there too. Celebrate Father's Day, the start of summer, and the return of Tailpipes and Tacos. Saturday morning, June 18th, 8 to 11. We'll see you then, weather permitting.
Mecum Auctions, the world's largest collector car auction company, returns to Houston March 31st through April 2nd at NRG Center. Featuring 1,000 muscle cars, Corvettes, trucks, customs, and more. Broadcast live on Motor Trend TV and Motor Trend Plus. We welcome everyone to Houston to bid in person, and enhanced online bidding and telephone options make it easy to join the Mecum experience from anywhere in the world. Register to bid now at Mecum.com.
The In Wheel Time Car Talk Show is now part of the iHeart family. Now you'll have access to 24/7 Car Talk anytime you need a fix. Just download the iHeart Radio app and ask for In Wheel Time Car Talk, and there we are. Be sure to save us in your iHeart library for instant access. No matter where you are, you have the best Car Talk Show right on your PC, laptop, or mobile device, and never have to worry about finding us again. Of course, you can always get access to our video and audio streams via InWheelTime.com and your favorite podcast channel, and all of this is free to you. From the iHeart Radio app, you'll not only hear our Saturday morning live show, but the best shows of the past, updated weekly. Never miss a minute of up-to-date new car reviews, pre-owned reviews, Conrad's Car Clinic, informative interviews, automotive news, and the most fun car talk show on the planet. Just download the iHeartRadio app, search for In Real Time Car Talk, save it to your library, and with a tap of the icon, you'll be in touch with your favorite Car Talk team. In Real Time Car Talk, streaming now on iHeart.com/In Real Time Car Talk.
Welcome to the In Real Time Car Talk Show on iHeartRadio. Coming up, Conrad is not here today.
No.
However, we have a substitute teacher in place, and you know what that means.
Yeah.
The kids go wild over the car
So
clinic.
does the teacher.
Uh-huh. And we'll have this week's automotive news. Howdy, along with Mike out of this world, Mars. We need more Jeff Zekin. I'm Don Armstrong. Glad you could join us on this Saturday on our live broadcast. If you're listening on a podcast, this should be our Tuesday show. So there's just that.
Yeah.
Just thought I'd break that up. We've got a lot of news to get to, and I'm going to read this particular story. This is not on our news segment, but I thought it was good for discussion. And, of course, it's the war in Ukraine and how it's affecting the automotive industry. So the story from Automotive News, many of the companies that have moved operations outside of Ukraine or Russia might not be in a hurry to return, according to an analyst at Alex Partners. The destruction in Ukraine and economic sanctions against Russia have already had a significant impact on the auto industry, including the closure of assembly and parts plants in Russia and suppliers such as Aptiv shifting some production out of the Ukraine. Parts such as wire harnesses that were built in Ukraine and then placed in vehicles on assembly lines in Germany, for instance, might instead be built in low-wage countries closer to Germany and farther away from Russia's sphere of influence. Russia, meanwhile, was a top supplier of important raw materials for automakers, including palladium, platinum, aluminum, pig iron, and nickel. Prices on many of those raw materials have jumped in recent weeks because of the war, and there are concerns about whether companies will be able to source enough materials from other countries. President Joe Biden is poised to invoke as soon as this coming week Cold War powers to encourage domestic production of critical minerals for electric vehicle and other types of batteries, according to people familiar with the matter. The White House is discussing adding battery materials to the list of items covered by the 1950 Defense Production Act, the same authority wielded by Harry Truman to make steel for the Korean War and Donald Trump to spur mask production to tackle the coronavirus pandemic. Adding minerals like lithium, nickel, graphite, cobalt, and manganese to the list could help mining countries access $750 million under the Defense Production Act's Title III fund. The move could also aid recycling of battery materials. So we have not even really begun to see the impact that it's going to have overall with the auto industry, and parts that we normally take for granted that may or may not be available in the coming months or years.
There's quite a few of that. Yeah, there's a lot of that.
What are you doing over there, Mars? He's not paying attention. He's over there.
Too. I'm listening.
You know what he's doing?
About Ukraine.
He is over there, and he's scanning the internet for naked pictures of cars.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
No, I think he just joined the Foreign Legion. Is what he did. He's figuring something out.
Yeah. So at any rate, all I can say is that we haven't even begun to experience any of these effects yet.
Mm-hmm.
Prices are going to continue to rise when it comes to cars and the manufacture of them.
Yep.
Used car prices are through the roof.
Mm-hmm.
Matter of fact, I saw the other day a car that would be normally $20,000 on the used car market is now like $22,300 or something like that. And it continues to get out of balance more and more so.
And in my segment, when I do the pre-owned, depending on what value it is, and you're researching this and doing some things online, you can see from week to week the increase of the prices by either several $100s to several thousand, depending on the mileage and the type of vehicle.
You know, we'll have to talk to the Emmons brothers. Why don't we schedule
Well, that's
them?
what I was going to say. I've been trying to get with them, but they've been doing so much racing. They've been up in Oklahoma, Florida. I mean,
Tis the season.
yeah, it's the season. You know, they're really getting cranked, and I think they're hauling all 4 cars to every race.
They
I
always
mean,
do.
they're going big time. So we haven't been able to catch up with them yet.
But I will tell you that, David Ainsley just recently purchased another car from them, a bargain, a $10,000 car. And that's what they are known for. They were talking about Emmons Motors down in the Friendswood area. And they're what I would consider the upper crust of the used car dealers in the Houston area.
Beautiful facility.
A beautiful facility, and they sell really good quality cars.
Good people. They're involved in the community. They're involved in their customers. They give a great product, and they're involved in racing.
Yeah, yeah. So it strikes all of the right boxes for us. But at any rate, so Ainsley emailed me the other day. He says, I think I need to get the frequent flyer card down here.
Get a group
family
rate
discount. They're your brother-in-law.
Yeah.
But speaking of group rates,
Yes.
George Skelton. We have George Skelton.
Our number.
The George.
You ready?
The number one fan. George is on the beach. What the hell, George? George, what are you doing? Where are you?
Margaritaville.
Guys, can you hear me?
Yes, we can now. We can hear you.
I'm on a beach. I'm on a beach in Temple.
Temple, Texas. That's great. Well, it's good to see you, my friend. And listen, we were trying to get, we dreamed up our own reasoning for the 6 taco trophies that are here. Is it 6? 2, 4, 6? 6 taco trophies that arrived via UPS, I guess, yesterday or day before. And I'm going, okay, well, are we supposed to give these away, or what is the George?
The lineage.
Yeah. Help us out. He's frozen in time.
No, I don't think you hear us.
Well, it has to do with Jeff.
Oh.
And him giving away free tacos.
Oh.
And I just thought the show was so good that y'all never talk about the awards anymore, and the Taco Writers of America wanted to give you those awards.
Well, listen, we can't thank you enough for sending the Taco Writers of America.
I'm honored.
And I think that Mars used to be a president of the Taco Writers of America.
Well, it was the Texas.
No, it was the Taco Writers.
Writers, yeah.
Yeah.
Wonderful beautiful trophies.
They really are, and so meaningful. And who doesn't like good tacos?
Yeah.
Taco time.
Do you have good tacos up there in Temple, Texas?
Well,
they have a beach.
Palm
well,
trees.
and Stan Holtz. Yes, very much so. And Stan Holtz is going to rename his tacos the Sir Don taco.
Sir, in the
free Jeff taco.
Free Jack taco.
Free Jeff. Yeah, free Jeff. Free Brittany.
Lowrider Mike Mars taco.
That would be from Neaterville.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have
and the King Conrad.
Yes.
Taco.
Yep. Well, that's good.
That's a staple.
Did you just
get the David taco?
David.
So, did you just get out of bed, George?
And the space taco for Jeff Heitzman.
Yes, that's it. So, did you just get out of bed?
I did.
I just kind of had that feeling.
I did.
He rolled out of the hammock onto the beach. There you go.
Well, it's always
more coffee.
It's always good to see you and to talk to you. And we were thinking about joining you at the beach up there in Temple.
Beautiful beach.
It really is. So, I'm sure that you'd love to have a visit by the In-Wheel Time team.
There's a delay in Temple.
Yeah, must be a big delay out there on the sands.
Absolutely to the drag strip down there, and that you're going to come to.
All right. Well, we're looking forward to it. And, George, it's great to see you. And thank you so much for the trophies. We're not exactly sure how we're going to delve those out, but I think that we'll come up with something here in the next week or two.
I appreciate you naming them after me. That's great.
Yeah. Very good. Appreciate it, George. Thank you.
It's it's kind of like a television broadcast with the reporter out in the field. Okay, Don, back to you. And there's nothing, silence.
Yeah.
Thank you, George. All right.
We love you, George.
Okay. So, well, that was a nice diversion, wasn't it? Glad we got that underway.
Well,
but anyway, back to our story about the invasion by Russia into Ukraine and how it's going to affect the car business. And it just is really a sad day for all of us because just ain't going to happen.
For a lot of reasons.
It's kind of like somebody getting slapped at the Academy Awards.
Oh, yeah. We're going to do that to Mike later.
Are we?
Yeah. We're going to give him the award, the taco award.
Be
and we're
like
going to slap him.
like an airplane. Everybody's going to kind of line up.
And let me see your hand. Mine's bigger, so we're using mine.
Okay.
And I'm glad that it is
Now
your
you're
left.
bragging.
Your left cheek. Your left cheek is bare, so I can take that right hand of mine and whack the glasses right off of your head.
Whack it.
Yep.
Don't-
You okay, Mike?
His is bigger.
I'm wondering how good he is at whacking off. This my glasses thing whack. Never mind.
Did he just say that?
Yeah, he did. Doo-doo.
Why don't you just go ahead and finish the show from here because
Well,
we're leaving.
I think we're going to go to the
I
backup
got to take
camera.
some notes here about what George said.
You need to change the subject real
Yeah,
quick.
I didn't know they had a beach in Temple. That's great.
It is.
Well, you only have
It's
you can
awesome.
see all the big tall pine trees over there on the other side of
Yeah.
the beach from you.
Yeah, and they got one palm tree on the beach. That's great. That's just great.
Would you like me to come up with something else to talk about and
Sure.
to make the right-hand turn here away from this?
Mhm. Mhm.
All right. Well, there are some recalls that I wanted to get to. Actually, quite a few of them. GMC Terrain. Headlight reflection may cause glare. It's being recalled from 2010 through 2017. That's a lot of GMC Terrains. And you can always go to safercar.gov, type in your VIN number that you can find on your insurance card that should be in your wallet,
Mhm.
and it will tell you if your car has been recalled. Now, the recalls that I'm going to tell you about today probably haven't made it into the mail to your house just yet because they're really new, and it takes these manufacturers a while to come up with a remedy and to distribute the parts to the dealership. So, if it's being recalled today, you'll need to get your car in there probably in the next couple of months. Anyway, there's the Lincoln Corsair that's also under recall for a high-voltage battery failure.
Uh-oh.
Ford Expedition, F-150, and Navigator from 2016 through 2018. Master brake cylinder may leak fluid into the booster. That's not good. Steering assembly bar may bind inside the rack of the Dodge Durango and Jeep Cherokee for 21 and 22 model years. Unreliable HV battery connection may cause a stall on the brand new Volkswagen ID4. I have not seen any of those on the road. Have you?
No.
None, not one.
They've been recalled.
Engine design cover may come loose and melt on the Volkswagen Golf R and GTI for 2022. I think every Mercedes known to man that has ever been built is being recalled for one of two things: disabled rear lighting or incorrect software that may cause system failures. And I'm not going to go through the list. It's a ginormous list of vehicles starting in the model year 2007 all the way through 2022.
Wow.
That's a lot. Tesla, initial delay in a rear view image display. That's not even worthy of a story, so forget that. Who cares? Yeah, I thought this was a very interesting story. BMW dealerships' interiors will be upgraded.
More seating, more comfortable seating, maybe a lounge with food and a cafe.
Cocktails.
Yeah.
Big screen TVs,
Yeah.
video games,
Multiple screen TVs.
play area.
BMW is re-imaging brick-and-mortar showroom experiences for the digital age. The brand's global retail next design concept, which debuts in the U.S. in July, attempts to make the dealership visit feel more experiential and less transactional.
So they're getting rid of the people.
Yeah. BMW in North America sales boss Sean Bugby told Automotive News last week. BMW's future showrooms will feature fewer cars, and each model will have a display with lounge-like seating so we can sit around and look at pictures of the BMW M3. Unique lighting elements and premier furnishings. Hey, it's kind of like dressing the window at the Macy's.
Didn't Nathan from 0 to 60 say he sits around in his garage looking at his cars?
He did say that.
I think that's the concept.
About 25 BMW dealerships are in early planning stages to update to the new design. Nearly a third of the brand's 350 stores here in the U.S. will renovate their spaces over the next few years. Well, that's going to really sell some cars when nobody walks into brick and mortars anymore. Just saying. Who buys cars at the dealership anymore? Does anybody?
Well, people like us. I mean, the idea.
But we're old.
I know.
Tire kicker.
But we're not the future.
I know. We're not the future.
No, we're the future in the grave business. Pretty much the immediate future. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to say goodbye to In Wheel Time, and we're going to call it the Pastime Show.
Oh,
because we're old, and it's not our market anymore. It's our children and our grandchildren,
and they're digital.
And Morris, I don't know what kind of Prevagen you took this morning, but it's clearly not working.
No, it's not working, because I was thinking that what we ought to do is start a business so that people our age can pick the car you want to go to the funeral in.
I was going to say
the cemetery.
to be buried in.
Yes.
And people have been buried
Instead
in their
of
cars.
Well, no. Well, I was thinking more like, if you're as we run out of
time.
Yes. But if somebody's cremated, they're in this small thing. You can put them in any kind of car they wanted.
Yeah.
You want to go to the funeral
but I
in a
don't want
Corvette?
to be. I don't want to be sharing the back seat with Jeff. Okay.
Well, but if you're in a
eternity.
two-seater like in a Corvette, then
that's even worse. I'll just be there,
there.
in there by myself. Thank you. I'm good. I don't need company.
Yeah, and then you can pass around the urn. You can haunt people in between. It's going to be great because I want to be cremated. Yeah, I'm going to have fun.
When my brother, when he passed away, he was cremated, and his wife, his widow, very much loving wife, put his thing up there on the urn up on the mantle.
Put his thing up there.
Her mantle. So it was up there
urn.
because she wanted him to be there.
Looks like a hot dog.
I'm trying to ignore this and keep going. But anyway, so, after a certain amount of time, she started dating again and everything like that, and found out real quick it was rather uncomfortable for some gentleman caller to come over, and my brother's right there on the mantle.
Having Bob looking at you.
Yeah, he's not there anymore. She got married now. He's out at the cemetery with everybody else.
With everybody else.
Yeah.
Wow. And this is here in Texas?
Yes.
Oh. Interesting.
The funeral show is brought to you today by
Casket Makers.
No, why did I get there? Why did I go there?
If you buy $1,000 worth of caskets and the NBA team wins, you get it for free.
We'll give you a taco trophy.
I mean, can I bring you a protein energy bar or drink or something to get
something?
Apparently, yeah.
He's got his tea.
You're on the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Thank you for riding with us today. By the way, we would love to hear from you. Just shoot us an email. The info is at info@inwheeltime.com, and you can tell us your funeral plans, and we'll pass them along, so to speak. Time now for the car clinic. Conrad is out today.
Yeah, I don't have anything.
And who's going to do the car clinic?
I am.
He is.
George says if you get cremated, you'll have a smoking hot body again. Again, being the key word.
George, see, he's up now. He's had his.
I
coconut milk.
I still have the body of a 16-year-old.
Yeah, but what are you going to do with it though? When you're going to let him out of the bedroom?
Oh, Michael,
is there a car?
Is there
a car clinic that you have over
yes,
there?
Sir.
All right. Well, please.
Cooling systems.
All
We
right.
talk about cooling systems every once in a while, but the weather's changing down here in Southeast Texas. It's starting to get a little bit warmer. We're kind of going off into summer. Will be here before we know it, whether we like it or not. So one recent experience I had kind of brought to mind how complacency is not our friend. And this is experience. My granddaughter got a car. She's been driving it for about a year and a half. First checked it out. Everything was cool, but she comes over for a few minutes here, there, and everything. So I don't check it regularly. It's kind of like my wife's car.
Why do you have to check it?
Well, just because.
Grandpa.
Yeah.
Is she not married?
No, she's 17.
Oh, well, that's a good
My
thing.
granddaughter.
Yeah, okay. All right, sorry.
So, yeah. So she made the longest trip she ever made. She went down to the beach in it. Normally, she just goes back and forth to school over spring break. Her and her girlfriend went down for the day. Coming back late in the evening, car overheated. She immediately pulled it over and called me and what to do and all that stuff. So I head down there about an hour. My wife was closer coming from the other way. Anyway, long story short, we couldn't drive it very far because when I got there, it was dark and I opened up the hood and I opened up the radiator after it was cooled off. And it was like a real thin baby food coming out of there. This really orange looking stuff coming up out of the radiator, gooey kind of thing. I didn't know. I'd never seen anything like that. So I didn't know what it was. But it turns out that the transmission cooler is inside the radiator, and it had sprung a leak, and transmission fluid got in the radiator. We checked all kinds of things. So my point being, I wasn't watching it, and who knows when it really happened. But the result is the car overheated. It was running fine, so it wasn't a blown head gasket or anything like that. So it's the radiator, the transmission cooler in the radiator, but it is so gunky that now a flush system, the machines that flush out your cooling system, it's too thick. You can't do it. So we have to take the car apart and flush out all the components
separately,
put it back together, then flush it out, and then clean it out, and then refill it and go through all this rigmarole. Of course, the radiator's got to be replaced. All the rubber hoses got to be replaced because transmission fluid is detrimental to rubber.
Yeah, it'll eat it from the inside.
And all of this, right now we're looking at about $1,500 over something that if I hadn't have been so complacent, if I'd have been more checking it more often like we all should be doing with our oil and our cooling systems and transmission fluid and things like that, then it could be avoided. And the main thing was this two 17, 18-year-old girls were sitting on the side of the road about dark with no place to go because they couldn't drive it any further. And if, back in our day, we didn't have cell phones, that would have been even worse.
Well, that's the time that you would call the local police, wherever she was, and say, my granddaughter is stranded on the side of the road. Would you please go over there and sit with her until the wrecker shows up? I've got both called.
I'm on the way and all that. So, but again, complacency. So as we move into this summer, you really need to start checking those kind of things.
Did you talk to Conrad about this plan of yours about flushing each section?
Yes, he's the one that sent me to the guy that he knew the guy that had the machine that could do it.
Yeah, because it's an evac or it's a power.
Yeah,
cleanse.
It's kind of a prayer flusher.
Right.
Yeah.
No longer you put it hose, and let it just drain.
Yeah, I mean they had to make sure they had the connections for her particular car, and they did. It's just that it's just too thick.
I believe that's part of the BG flushing surface. That they've got the machine and they've got the stuff to flush it through and
all the
that.
chemical additives and all the good stuff.
You know, I had that done to the Corvette, which is now 21 years old. I had that done last year for the first time, I think, since the car was new, because it only has 26,000 miles on it now. And the fluid looked fine, but I know that fluid's been in there since it was put in there from the factory. And so I had all of that done with the brakes, the brake fluid, the transmission. Even though it's a manual transmission, I had that fluid changed
with the shifter,
the transaxle, and the same thing with the power steering and the radiator. I had all that done. And was it expensive? I don't know. Expensive would be the word, but it wasn't cheap. But I had it done, and now I have the confidence that I can go anywhere in the car. All that stuff was looked at, and fluids changed, and we're all good.
And here's how you can justify that. The age of the car, the last time it was done, and you take that value of what you spent and break it down over all those years that it wasn't done, and it's pretty much, pennies on the dollar for how long you've owned it. So Absolutely. It had to have been done.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of people like your age that when they started driving.
What the hell does that mean?
I'm not even looking at them. I'm not looking at them.
That I can remember when
Mars, you haven't really contributed a whole lot.
I'm filling in for Conrad today.
Oh, okay.
That's
right. The excuse. All right.
And it is his segment.
It is his segment. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So, I remember, back in the day with my dad, cars overheating or we need to check the water in it. I mean, you didn't really back in the early 60s, we didn't worry too much about coolant in the radiator and stuff. And even whenever I started driving, and I'm sure whenever you did, it was still water and stuff. So we had to learn. And now it's not just antifreeze. You just don't go buy a gallon of antifreeze in there. They got different antifreeze for different kinds of cars.
Right.
I mean, it's
blends.
all very specified, and you have to, or you're supposed to change it.
Well,
No,
you
we
used to
never
use
changed
that
it.
Prestone, sir. Put that Prestone antifreeze in
That's
there.
right.
That's good.
The water.
Yeah, and then the factory came out
with water. You had to dilute
and
it.
the factory came out with this red stuff in there, and you mix in that yellow stuff from
Don't
the
drink it.
Prestone,
Don't drink
and
it.
the whole thing turns black.
Don't
What's
drink
that
it.
about?
And then you got some green stuff, and you got some red stuff, and
some blue stuff. Yeah,
yeah,
oh,
and it really does have a light on it that you really need to change it. And we just don't think
well,
about
I think
doing
that's a good point.
We call that square dancing.
Yeah. And today, with all these people buying used cars, it's more important than ever.
Oh, absolutely.
Because chances are that the fluid's never, like my car, that was never changed.
Right. It was low mileage, so you don't think about it. And again, the complacency that gets in there, plus just how you were brought up and how to treat your car and stuff, things have changed
And
dramatically.
I'm sure Conrad will tell you not only the use of the vehicle, but time also deteriorates the
Right.
chemicals.
It's like you changed you got your brake system flushed and changing the brake fluid and stuff. I never heard of that till a few years ago. We just didn't do it. You just keep adding.
Yeah. Adding nice clear fluid to that black goo that's in there
That's
now.
right. And
Eventually
it
it'll
cycles
come
out.
around.
That's
Yeah,
right.
it'll
It
come
just cycles
around.
out.
Leakles
You got a wheel cylinder leak. Who cares? It'll just clean itself up.
Quick break now. You're on the In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Back after these quick messages.
Father's Day weekend, Saturday, June 18th, 2022. It's the next Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise-In, and you're invited. Tailpipes and Tacos Father's Day edition will be at the same Loopy Tortilla in Katy, 8 to 11 a.m. on Saturday, June 18th. It's the only place cruisers compete for trophies and other prizes. Enter your vehicle for Best Hot Rod, Best Classic, and Best Modern Classic. Tailpipes and Tacos is Houston's coolest cruise-in and is your opportunity to see the best hot rods, show cars, classics, and resto mods, and get Loopy Tortilla breakfast tacos and adult beverages. There's no entry fee, and cars will automatically compete for custom Loopy trophies and other prizes. It all happens at the Loopy Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard, just south of I-10. Kick off summer with Tailpipes and Tacos Father's Day edition, Saturday, June 18th. The In Real Time Car Talk Show will be there too. Celebrate Father's Day, the start of summer, and the return of Tailpipes and Tacos. Saturday morning, June 18th, 8 to 11. We'll see you then, weather permitting.
Mecum Auctions, the world's largest collector car auction company, returns to Houston March 31st through April 2nd at NRG Center. Featuring 1,000 muscle cars, Corvettes, trucks, customs, and more. Broadcast live on Motor Trend TV and Motor Trend Plus. We welcome everyone to Houston to bid in person, and enhanced online bidding and telephone options make it easy to join the Mecum experience from anywhere in the world. Register to bid now at Mecum.com.
The In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show is now part of the iHeart family. Now you'll have access to 24/7 Car Talk anytime you need a fix. Just download the iHeart Radio app and ask for In-Wheel Time Car Talk, and there we are. Be sure to save us in your iHeart library for instant access. No matter where you are, you have the best Car Talk Show right on your PC, laptop, or mobile device and never have to worry about finding us again. Of course, you can always get access to our video and audio streams via InWheelTime.com and your favorite podcast channel, and all of this is free to you. From the iHeart Radio app, you'll not only hear our Saturday morning live show, but the best shows of the past, updated weekly. Never miss a minute of up-to-date new car reviews, pre-owned reviews, Conrad's Car Clinic, informative interviews, automotive news, and the most fun car talk show on the planet. Just download the iHeart Radio app, search for In-Wheel Time Car Talk, save it to your library, and with a tap of the icon, you'll be in touch with your favorite Car Talk team. In-Wheel Time Car Talk, streaming now on iHeart.com/In-Wheel Time Car Talk.
You have no idea how I just cued the boys here in the studio, and
I
you'll
know
never
it.
know. Welcome to the In-Wheel
Awesome.
Time Car Talk Show on iHeartRadio. Just ahead, Car Talk. Mike Mars reviews our new vehicle of the week, the 2021 Ford Bronco Sport. It's a year old, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir, but that's what they press fleet's availability.
Okay. Plus, we have the upcoming events calendar along with this week's automotive news headlines just ahead on the In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Thanks so much for joining us. Along with Mike Out of This World Mars, we need more Jeff Zekin.
Yay.
I'm Don Armstrong. Glad that you could join us on this Saturday. You know, I had a chance to go out to the Mecum Auction yesterday.
Awesome.
And I was really blown away. There were a ton of people there.
Great.
And there were a ton of cars. And I had an opportunity to go up there and say hello to this guy, John Kraman. And he's the guy behind the microphone sitting right up there in front of God and everybody talking about the cars going across the block. John, good morning. It's great to see you, my friend.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Man, I just want to say this auction here in Houston, we're off to a record pace. Now, we're going to finish it up today, and that's going to tell the story. But so far, all indications are in place that we're going to set another record. This collector car market's on fire, and the folks here at Houston are jumping on board.
John, I was blown away by not only the number of cars going through the auction this year, but the quality of those cars.
Yeah, we were really fortunate to kind of have what we call a main attraction at this auction. In fact, we'll finish up about a third of those cars today. A collection, the Triple J Ranch Auto Collection out of Oklahoma. About 170 cars are here out of one collection. It's an estate sale. And they range everything from some $5,000 to $10,000 cars to a lot of movie and television cars that went crazy yesterday. And then the best of the best are going to cross the auction block today. All of those, by the way, selling at no reserve. But, I mean, a lot of European exotics are here, a lot of 4x4s, contemporary, brand new, right out of the factory Broncos, in addition to vintage Broncos, a lot of trucks, resto mods, restored muscle cars, 50s chrome and fin. Just an incredible variety of cars here. And, man, you're right, a lot of really good ones as well.
John, I was blown away. I sat in the audience for, 45 minutes or so, watching the cars cross the block. And like you mentioned, some of them started off as no reserve, or they would get on there and they wouldn't meet the reserve, and then the reserve was off, and they went up another couple of $1,000s, and a guy walks out of there with a great car for $10,000, $15,000, $20,000. I'm going, why didn't I bring my checkbook?
A familiar tale. Folks that come out to the auction that don't have bidder credentials, very often, well, they see something that they want. Maybe they'll go over and sign to be bidder. It only takes a few minutes. Or if they don't, they see what it sells for, and they say, man, if I'd have known it would have gone for that price, I would have bought it. So I always recommend to people, make sure if you're even remotely interested in anything we have, get a bidder badge when you come in.
What is it entail? I mean, do you have to get a credit check? What is the purpose in getting a bidder badge?
Yeah, it's really surprisingly easy. We want to encourage everybody to have a chance to bid, so we make it as seamless as possible. You simply need to have a valid ID. We pay a $200 fee for the bidder badge. That includes unit guest. That includes all 3 days of the auction. So it's fairly inexpensive.
Yeah.
And basically, that's it. We make it very simple and straightforward. We hold all the titles for 2 weeks after the close of the auction. And, we've been in business since 1988. We are the world's largest collector car auction company. And we've really got the whole procedure down to a science. People just really enjoy how seamless and easy we make every step of the both the buying and the selling aspect of it. And I think that's one of the reasons for our tremendous growth and why we're doing so good right now.
John, when you buy a car, I mean, are you able to drive the car out after you wrote the check?
Absolutely. That when that hammer drops legally, the title, the ownership transfers over to the winning bidder. And so you simply go from there into the office and you pay for the vehicle and you get what's called a gate pass, which allows you, it shows it's a proof that you're allowed to take the car. So literally within 30 minutes after the hammer dropping, if you want, you can take that car out and you can either arrange to have it transported home or you can drive it home. It's a pretty incredibly easy procedure. And of course, all that's intentional.
Now, I know that you've actually bought some cars yourself through the auction. Did you drive them home?
Actually, no. Everything I've ever bought at a Mecum auction, I have actually had Mecum transport, not necessarily pitched for them, but we have Mecum Transport. It's a transport company with enclosed trailers. Actually, I had Mecum Transport deliver them to my house due to the distance involved and also due to my personal schedule. And honestly, guys, that's a pretty typical way that folks get their new purchases home. Many of our purchasers will buy more than one vehicle, and it's easy and seamless and convenient for them to go ahead and let Mecum Transport take care of it. And then by the time they get home, typically within a couple of days after that, their new vehicles arrive at their home, and they're all good to go.
Are the prices competitive in the transportation field?
Yeah, it has to be for, the obvious reasons. But, going on beyond that, there's a level of care, just like there is in taking care of cars at an auction, that you want to make sure that you get a transport company that really understands the dynamics of vintage cars and can take the extra care and will understand just how much of a treasure these cars are, as opposed to just, an ordinary late model car. So you want to make sure that you get a transport company that really has passion, I guess, required to make sure these cars are very well taken care of. And the whole entire auction seamless process really is geared to making sure that we're doing the best possible job we can for our buyers, our sellers, our spectators on site. And that includes helping them arrange for financing with Mecum Financial and helping them get their vehicles home with Mecum Transport. Try to make it as one-stop shopping as much as possible, once again, contributing to our growth.
So, John, I was kind of blown away because as I was watching the auction, cars cross the block, and the hammer goes down on the car, there is a figure that is put up on the screen on either side of the block up there, and it says what a monthly payment would be for the price of the car. And so are you guys financing now, too?
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
We've gotten, just because of customer demand and because of the nuances of financing a collector vehicle versus a late model car, there are differences. We have formed our own company called Mecum Financial. They're right literally on site. We have what's called the Mecum Service Station with customer service reps, Mecum Financial, Mecum Transport, all in one area that you can go over into. There's no pressure or anything else. Everybody's up to speed on all the latest interest rates and all of that stuff, as well as the transport costs for an immediate quote. So people spend a lot of time over there getting sort of their ducks in a row, getting the financial and the logistic horsepower ready to start bidding.
Because by the time, if you're going to do the financial thing, now you've opened it up to a whole set of other people that don't have the immediate cash to go in there and pay $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 for an auction car. Now you can get that auction car financed at the auction. I love it.
So, John,
you understand our philosophy. Thank you.
Well, I guess how would that work? So I come in there, I've got $10,000 that I want to see if I can find me a value car that I want to buy, and I see one for $18,000, and I gotta have it. I just gotta have it. So, do I need to make arrangements for some sort of credit check ahead of time once I get my bidder's badge, or is that something I can literally say, okay, I need another $8,000. Let me come over and see if I can finance.
It's not a casino.
No, with the procedure, you can wait till you arrive on site. It only takes about maybe 5 or 10 minutes to get the approval that you need. But your first stop when you come in, right down the Mecum red carpet, is to make a stop at the Mecum service station and talk to the folks about financing, fill out an application. In today's computerized world, they get almost an immediate response within the matter of minutes. Go over, depending on where you're from, get a quote from Mecum Transport. That way you know what your bidding limit is, you know what the transport cost is if you're the winning bidder, and then you can bid with confidence without wondering, gee, how am I going to pay for this thing when the hammer drops if I'm the winner?
Jeez. Well, what have you got your eye on in Houston, John? What is there something that caught your?
There is. We're really excited today. There's a 1969 Pontiac Firebird Trans Am. The first year, 697 of those cars were built. I love Pontiacs. I love the first year Trans Am. It's very rare. It's got factory air conditioning, which is almost unheard of. Maybe 25 or so of the 697 had factory air. We've got one of those cars. And I'm expecting certainly north of $100,000 on that one. And
Wow.
if I was to pick one car at the over 1,000 cars we have here to take home and put in my garage, it would be that one.
Is that a gold convertible?
No, it is a white coupe with blue stripes.
Okay,
and it's a showstopper as well. It's beautifully restored.
They featured it yesterday on the show.
John,
when I saw the
I will say to you that yesterday when I was there was a 69 Camaro. It's like, Mecca of cars in a car auction. And I turned to my cousin that was sitting with me yesterday when we were watching. I said, you wait, this thing's going to go for 90. And it started off at 20, and I mean, it skyrocketed immediately. And I think that the closing bid was like $82,000 for a 69 Camaro Z28. It had all, matching numbers and all this stuff. I was close, wasn't quite there to 90, but I'll tell you what, man, it was a beautiful car. And to see that thing, people got excited in the audience, and once the hammer hit, everybody was applauding. It was great stuff.
Well, there's so much passion. I mean, these cars represent nostalgia and automotive history and American history and pop culture, especially these performance cars from the 1960s. And they're transitioning generations. It's not all about the baby boomers anymore that grew up lusting over these cars. There's a whole new wave of automotive enthusiasts. It's there. It's a younger audience, and I don't mean 20 and 30-year-olds, but let's say the 40 to 50-year-old crowd that weren't there back in the day that remember them, that almost put these cars up on a higher priority level than the boomers that were there back in the day. We call those the legacy buyers versus the nostalgia buyers, and they're really helping to keep this market alive. And the prices and demand on collector vehicles never been higher in history. It is absolutely on fire right now. Makes people feel good to buy, get involved with, sit behind the wheel of, restore, even just go out in the garage and wax it. It's a feel-good place to be right now with everything that's going on. Collector cars are an escape for so many of us that love cars.
So, John, today's the final day of the Mecum Auction for 2022 here in Houston. And what's the difference between today's cars, yesterday's cars, and the cars that started off the auction on Thursday? Is there any difference?
Yes. Let me give you an example. Roughly, we have about 350 cars each of the 3 days of the auction.
Right.
Now, on Thursday, we did about $5 million in the sale of collector vehicles. On Thursday, yesterday, Friday, we did about $12 million in the sale of collector vehicles, almost double. Same volume of cars, but the cars were more expensive and of higher quality. Today, we jump up another notch. I would expect that we'll see probably somewhere maybe in the $15 to $20 million range just with today's cars, which is going to take us to probably somewhere in the $30 million mark for the 3 days. If we do that, it's a new record eclipsing last year's where we were at about $22 million. So we're looking for a pretty big jump over last year. And once again, signaling that this collector car market is as good as it's ever been, and no end in sight. We're predicting for the remainder of the year that the collector car market is going to remain very, very strong.
John, is the Triple J sale, is that going as anticipated?
Oh, stronger. The prices of the 170 plus vehicle collection that I'd mentioned earlier has exceeded everybody's expectations.
Fantastic.
Yesterday, we saw kind of a shocker. The top seller of the whole day, in fact, was a 1959 Cadillac Ambulance done to replicate precisely and very authentically the famed Ghostbusters car, the Ecto 1 as it's referred to as. The pre-auction estimate was somewhere in the $50,000 to $60,000 range. And like I say, it brought it hammered for $200,000. Just an example of how pop culture can fit into the collector vehicle market. So yeah, everybody from the Triple J Ranch collection is very, very happy. We finish out with about 65 or 70 of those cars today, the best cars of the bunch, including that 69 Trans Am we talked about earlier. So all the pieces in place for that collection to exceed their expectations. And the fact that it's an estate sale really gives a tribute to the guy that was behind it, corralling these cars, keeping them with so much care, and all going to new homes because all those vehicles selling at no reserve.
I have to tell you that I got home from an event I went to last night, and about 9:30 or so, and clicked on Motor Trend, and there was today's auction late last night. So what's the television schedule like today?
Right. Here's, thanks to our partnership that we began this year with Motor Trend TV and Motor Trend Plus, the streaming service, what we do is we will go on air on Motor Trend TV, which is cable, at 11 o'clock. That would be Houston time, Central time, and we go for 6 hours straight till 5 o'clock. But then as a bonus, they turn around when we're done at 5, and they re-air all 6 hours in its entirety.
Yeah.
So it's literally back-to-back coverage. So a lot of the folks like you that came out, saw the auction, they can go home in the evening or late afternoon, and they can tune it in, and they can watch the action that they saw. And this is a new dynamic with our partnership with Motor Trend. And, man, the response that we've had on social media and from our customers and our friends has been, keep it up. And the good news is that is our new television air strategy for the remainder of the year.
I have to tell you that I actually got home and I watched myself walk up there and and shake hands with you and have a little chat with you. And I have to tell you, sir, you need to really calm down on the potato chip diet that you got going on.
Yeah, it's not a real good opportunity for healthy eating as we're trying to stay in position for 6 hours straight.
So, John, if you would have just called me,
no potato chips today.
Hey, if you would have just called me, I could at least have stopped by the Jack in the Box and got an order of egg rolls
or a
for
hot
you
dog
or
or something. Yeah.
All right.
John, it's great to talk to you. It's great to see you yesterday, by the way, in person. And hey, where you guys headed after Houston?
Yeah, we're going to next month. We will be heading over for the 35th annual Dana Mecum's Original Spring Classic. The granddaddy of all Mecum auctions began all the way back in 1988, and we'll be there in Indianapolis with an unbelievable selection of cars. We'll have 4 days of television coverage there.
Wow.
Those that are interested, go to Mecum.com, take a look at the website. If you're a car fan, it's nirvana because it's very easy to navigate, and you can look at more cars and descriptions and pictures. And if you want to get results and be able to get the backside of the system, sign up to be a My Mecum member. It's totally free. You just put your email address in, and it unlocks the backside of the website, and we invite everybody to do that and keep in touch with
Well, heck, that's within driving distance. You going to drive down to that for you?
Yeah, I live in northern Illinois, so it's about a 4.5 hour drive to Indy. And it's the week before the Indianapolis 500, so we'll stick around and go to the last day of qualifying, the day after the auction, and make a real car week out of it for sure.
Hey, are you looking for a roommate? I'm available.
Well, my wife will be. I'm very lucky that my wife will be going along with me on that one. So you're
yes,
out of luck
you
there,
are.
buddy.
Yeah, you are lucky. John, it's great to talk to you, my friend. Good to see you, and thanks so much for all the info. And good luck today. We're going to have a record. I can feel it in my bones.
All right. Appreciate the interest, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you, John.
Thank you. John Kraman with the Mecum Auctions.
Man, I could get in serious trouble there.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, all these, you go in there with the idea, I can only spend this much money. Now, all of a sudden, no, you can spend almost as much money as you want.
And I took my cousin and his wife yesterday with me to the Mecum auction. And Penny, his wife, said, I really like that car over there. What do you think it? What do you think it would take to go and get a bidder, $200, get a bidder's badge? And I thought, here we go.
Yeah.
She didn't buy anything yet, but the day's not over.
Well, there's phone bidding, there's internet bidding.
I know.
All that
too.
good stuff.
So,
yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah, but I could, the last time we were there doing a live broadcast from there, we went and we had this awesome car show, which we didn't really talk about it today, but just to be able to go in and see these 1,000+ cars
lined up.
Yeah, and they're not sanctioned off.
Yeah,
they're not blocked off to where you can't
get up
get
and
to
look
them.
under the hood and
you can get up and look at these things. And I always thought, well, if I only could afford one of these. Now it's scary that now I could.
Now you can because they can work out those monthly payments.
Exactly. But Don, you can not only look at them there, but they've got it on their, like he said, they're on their website. Is there also a booklet that you can get?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
They
That's
give those away
important, too.
free, and I saw guys there with their pen, and they're making notes to each one of them.
That's it.
All right, time now for this hour's car review. Mr. Mars had a chance to drive the 2021 Ford Bronco Sport.
Still drooling over here.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir, I did. And I was really looking forward to driving this vehicle because you hear so much about it. The new Bronco Sport.
Those are two different vehicles.
Absolutely.
And the only thing that they have in common, really, is the name.
Mm-hmm.
The Bronco and the Bronco Sport. The Bronco Sport is an SUV. It's a crossover.
Right. It's based off the Ford Escape type platform, I guess, is where it's at. And so it's a small CUV, crossover utility vehicle. Does seat 5. And it comes in 5 different trim levels. Got a base, a big bend, Outer Banks, Badlands, and the first edition. Now, this is obviously very off-road centric because even the names of the editions are all that way. The one that we had, is much like what we have on the video here, was in the Cyber Orange, and it had the white highlights with a white Bronco name on it, and really stood out really nice on the badging. At front, you're going to find it's got the active grille shutters. It's got the fog lamps, automatic headlamps, tail lights. So they're all LED setups so that you've got plenty of nice lighting out there. It does have skid plates because, again, it's very much focused on going to the off-road part of the world. Tow hooks. Does have a power moonroof on it, and it rolls on some nice 17-inch aluminum wheels. And, again, if you look at the styling of it, I wouldn't say it's necessarily a retro Bronco 2, but it's kind of along that same boxy setup high type setup that it's got. Inside, we had the leather seating, and the front seats, of course, are buckets, and they're heated. The rear seat is a 60/40 fold down. And one of the things that I really liked about the way they've done the interior as far as the content or the seating and the surfaces on it, they've got the rubber mats in the back of it for cargo, but that extends up on the back of the rear seat so that when you fold it down and you've got trying to put cargo in there, it's all there. Up front, you're going to find that you've got the digital instrument panel. You've got the center stack there that's got all the controls in it for the Sync 3 in it. It's an 8-inch touchscreen, and the seating is leather, and the rear seat does fold down.
Are you having a hard time reading your notes? Or
no, I'm making the mistake of looking at the video and not paying attention to what I'm doing and trying to keep track with that, and that's not working very good. So
we are a radio show, remember?
I know, and I'm going to do like Conrad. I'm going to put this up here where I don't have to see that. It distracts me. So up under the hood, we had the optional 2.0 inline-4 turbocharged EcoBoost. Now this does produce 250 horsepower and 277 pound-feet of torque. So it's got plenty of juice to it that'll take you, whether you're driving down the highway or you're going off-road, either way, you've got plenty of power to it. It's backed by an 8-speed transmission. It does tow 2,200 pounds. Now, that doesn't sound like a whole lot, but it is a CUV, not an SUV. Now, the EPA says you should be looking for like 21 miles to the gallon in the city. Highway should be 26, combined 23. Now, I drove this vehicle 338 miles, and I got 23.4 over that time frame. So, out on the highway, again, it's very off-road centric. It's stiff, and it's noisy to me. The tires are noisy. It's got wind noise on it because it sits up kind of high so that for the off-road aspect of it. So it does pick up a lot of wind noise. Fortunately, it's got a really nice audio system that you can crank up, and it'll erase all that, and you won't have to mess with it too much. The base price on this vehicle is $33,360. The base model on it, you can get one of these starting out at $27,125. However, the one that we were driving, the MSRP as tested, is $39,040. If you're looking for something to kind of compare it to in that small CUV category, you're going to look at a Honda CR-V, for example, setting at $25,350. There's the Mazda CX-5 that starts also at $25,370. And even the Ford Escape that's going to be the closest inside the Ford family at $25,555. So if you're looking for something that's a little different, looks different, rides and drives a little bit different, this would be something that you would want to look at for that off-road experience in a small CUV.
Do we have the events calendar?
Huh, I do.
Who would be the person that was going to fill it?
I'm raising my hand on
Conrad's
that.
not here today. He's in Austin farting around. I'm not exactly sure what he's doing over there, but at any rate, he's not here, and so we're all kind of filling in his spot on the dais.
On the dais. Well, the events today, Saturday, you've got Nifty 50s, Grogan's Mills, the Woodlands. Kemah Car Meet is tonight at it's from 6 to 9. Saturday, which is also Saturday the 9th, you're looking at the Luby's Lake Jackson second annual car and truck show. That's at 125 Westway, Lake Jackson, Texas. Saturday, April 9th, you've got at 12:30 to 2 p.m., the Brazos Valley Nuremberg Ring Cruise Veterans Park and Athletic Complex.
What? Run
Say
that
that
by me
again?
again?
It is the Brazos Valley Nuremberg Ring.
Nürburgring.
Nuremberg Ring.
Uh-huh.
It's that place.
That
over
burger
there,
place, yeah.
over there.
Right.
Cruise at Veterans Park and Athletic
It says.
Complex. And then, of course, tomorrow is Craig's first Sunday
and Chrome.
of the month.
Chrome and coffee.
Chrome.
Grown
Coffee.
I knew that.
Got all these events. And then just go on. You've got Crawfish Craft Beer Cellar, Barker Cypress. You've got the Brookshire Brothers Cruise in Montgomery. You've got the Sunday nights at Freddy's. That's that was steak burger, Freddy's steak burgers.
Did you
Katie
look
Car
at this
Meets,
before you?
I did, but it's kind of out of order.
We
These
talked
guys-
about it, too.
about it too. But there's plenty. Of course, Nifty 50s is also duplicated here. That's an ongoing thing as well. There you have it.
Is it my turn? You want me to try to bail you out of
Yeah,
this?
bail us out,
Please.
God. Well, the easy way to bail us out is to go to a commercial break. The In Wheel Time Car Show is now part of the iHeart family. It's available 24/7 at iHeart.com and through the iHeart app. And that's what I would suggest that you do on your cell phone or whatever device that you currently have. Just look for In Wheel Time Car Talk. We stream on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and InWheelTime.com too. Heck, we're everywhere. In Wheel Time Car Show continues after this quick break.
Father's Day weekend, Saturday, June 18th, 2022. It's the next Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise In, and you're invited. Tailpipes and Tacos Father's Day edition will be at the same Loopy Tortilla in Katy, 8 to 11 a.m. on Saturday, June 18th. It's the only place cruisers compete for trophies and other prizes. Enter your vehicle for Best Hot Rod, Best Classic, and Best Modern Classic. Tailpipes and Tacos is Houston's coolest cruise-in and is your opportunity to see the best hot rods, show cars, classics, and resto mods, and get Loopy Tortilla breakfast, tacos, and adult beverages. There's no entry fee, and cars will automatically compete for custom Loopy trophies and other prizes. It all happens at the Loopy Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard, just south of I-10. Kick off summer with Tailpipes and Tacos Father's Day edition, Saturday, June 18th. The In Real Time Car Talk Show will be there too. Celebrate Father's Day, the start of summer, and the return of Tailpipes and Tacos. Saturday morning, June 18th, 8 to 11. We'll see you then, weather permitting.
Mecum Auctions, the world's largest collector car auction company, returns to Houston March 31st through April 2nd at NRG Center. Featuring 1,000 muscle cars, Corvettes, trucks, customs, and more. Broadcast live on Motor Trend TV and Motor Trend Plus. We welcome everyone to Houston to bid in person, and enhanced online bidding and telephone options make it easy to join the Mecum experience from anywhere in the world. Register to bid now at Mecum.com.
The In Wheel Time Car Talk Show is now part of the iHeart family. Now you'll have access to 24/7 Car Talk anytime you need a fix. Just download the iHeart Radio app and ask for In Wheel Time Car Talk, and there we are. Be sure to save us in your iHeart library for instant access. No matter where you are, you have the best Car Talk Show right on your PC, laptop, or mobile device and never have to worry about finding us again. Of course, you can always get access to our video and audio streams via InWheelTime.com and your favorite podcast channel, and all of this is free to you. From the iHeart Radio app, you'll not only hear our Saturday morning live show, but the best shows of the past, updated weekly. Never miss a minute of up-to-date new car reviews, pre-owned reviews, Conrad's Car Clinic, informative interviews, automotive news, and the most fun car talk show on the planet. Just download the iHeart Radio app, search for In Real Time Car Talk, save it to your library, and with a tap of the icon, you'll be in touch with your favorite Car Talk team. In Real Time Car Talk, streaming now on iHeart.com/In Real Time Car Talk.
Welcome to the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show on iHeartRadio. Coming up, Seth Angel. Pardon me?
There he is.
Seth Angel, Houston Raceway Park, and NHRA Spring Nationals. Plus, we have the events calendar and the stories making automotive news headlines this week. Howdy, along with Mike out of This World Mars. We need more Jeff Zekin. I'm Don Armstrong. Glad you could join us on this Saturday. And if you're listening on a podcast, then congratulations to you. You found us. And we promise to entertain you, delight you. Jeff has his tutu on, and he's going to do a little naked tap dance later in this segment.
No.
Joining us now from Houston Raceway Park for the NHRA Spring Nationals, its owner-proprietor, Seth Angel. Seth, good morning.
Hey, good morning, guys. Great to be on and chat with you guys.
Well, it's always good to be with you. So Mars said, yeah, he wanted to address some rumors. What rumors? We're still going to have the Spring Nationals, aren't we?
Yeah, of course. Look, our focus and our mission is to put on one of the best NHRA national events we've ever hosted here in about 3 weeks, April 22nd to the 24th, our 35th anniversary NHRA Spring Nationals.
And with our help, it's going to come off absolutely just as you mentioned.
Perfect.
Of course, you guys are part of our family, and you guys are, y'all's success is obviously why we love to have you guys part of our venue and our event, and we love working with you guys. But look, our event is really on tap to be one of the most spectacular NHRA Spring National race weekends I've ever been a part of, and certainly in the 3.5-decade history that our family has hosted these events. Obviously for one big reason, and that is because it is the final NHRA Spring Nationals event that we'll host at the facility. So our focus and our mission is to put the best show on, and we're really excited about it. I can tell you, as I sit here today, the tickets activity and the number and the interest just around every aspect of the event is through the roof. And so we're expecting a record-setting weekend, and really look forward to putting on championship drag racing at the highest level.
So, Seth, I had heard that even though that this will be the last NHRA Spring Nationals event, that Houston Raceway Park is going to continue to stay open for a while longer. Is that right?
Yeah, that's true, Don. We're in a position where we've got been afforded the opportunity to extend our lease out. We've exercised that opportunity certainly through the end of 2022. And if you look at our event schedule and our calendar, we've got a full slate of events through the end of the year, and we're excited about those. And I think as we look past that into 23, we have every intention to extend another 1-year lease to continue to operate the facility and host events like we've done for the last 3.5 decades. With the one caveat being in that, right now we're just not in a position where we can say definitively that we would bring back the NHRA national event. We've had a wonderful working relationship with the leadership team of the NHRA, and I remember my dad and my uncles and the Gay family, having conversations with Wally Parks back in the late 80s and bringing this tour and this series to Houston. And we're great to be a part of that. But for us at this point in time, that chapter will close and we'll proceed forward. So but our focus is, like I said at the beginning of the interview, we're going to deliver to our fans who we love so much one heck of a weekend come April 22nd.
Well, let me just throw this out there. I mean, we've had a lot of rock and roll artists in our day go, oh, this is my last tour, I'm not going to do this anymore. And then, for whatever reason, they go,
one more.
One more maybe. And I'm thinking, well, you've left the door open. I mean, it's still possible for a special event, a special one-off. Hey,
by popular demand,
we're going to, I swear to God, this is going to be the last one.
More.
Yeah, it's funny you say that, because that's been brought up and brought to my attention in several interviews that I've done. And look, I'll tell you guys, like I told them, I would never say never, but I can tell you definitively, to your listeners and to our fans that we've had no conversations with NHRA about anything past this year.
But you forgot to say yet.
But those conversations certainly could happen, and I imagine that there'll be some conversation around that.
Well, let me just say this, that we do know Glenn Cromwell personally, and and I know that we'll run into him there at the Spring Nationals at the end of the month.
Look at that smile. But not say a word. Not say a word.
No, but I'll tell you what, that is a toothy smile you got there. I will say that. So I will just leave it at that. So what can we expect on the 3-day extravaganza called the Spring Nationals Final Event?
No, look, you can expect championship caliber drag racing at the ultimate level. Our racetrack's in the best condition and shape it's ever been in. And you know, we're really excited about bringing in our fans and showcasing the sport as we've done for the last 3.5 decades. We've got some great things on tap to kind of highlight the history of the park and the track and some of the greatest moments that have taken place here over the last 3.5 decades. And our fans will certainly get a taste of that every single day that they're here in a few weeks.
Well, we truly are looking forward to coming back out there, and you know, Seth's been so kind to let us set up in the top eliminator club over there. It's out of the weather, and it's out. But it gives the drivers access to one-on-one interviews. Then with our connection with Toyota, they always bring us great interviews, and we've established a great relationship with Antron Brown. And as we all know, Schumacher Racing has evolved, and some of these guys, drivers, very popular with the fans, have set up their own teams. It's a different day. It's not last year. It's this year. And I will say that I think it's the most exciting part of the NHRA, this kind of a changeover happening right now. Don't you agree?
100% agree with your assessment, Don. The landscape of the sport of NHRA drag racing has never been more dynamic than it is today. I mean, you know, what you're seeing is kind of this evolution of these super teams and these powerhouse teams, and you're kind of seeing them kind of splinter off into these 1- and 2-car teams, which I really think is what the sport needs. And I think you'll see that continue down the road. Antron Brown, you know, great guy. You know, if I was a sponsor, he'd be one of my top guys because he's just so personable and energetic and full of life. And that's, you know, that's what you want for someone that's, who's branding your company and becoming the face of your company. And it's not just him. It's Ron Capps.
Yep.
You know, Tony Schumacher's back in the seat. You know, and look, there's a lot of great things in every category. And it's, you know, we just can't wait to welcome them here in a few weeks.
Have you ordered the hot dogs yet? Because you know that's where I kind of tend to go to at events like this, and I know that you're a caterer for years and years out there, who's turned in another good friend of mine. He does such a fantastic job with all of your vendors and concessions out there. It's just a good family-friendly event.
Yeah, no, look, there is no I in team. I can assure you that, and we've got. You know, if you really think about it, you look over that event weekend and you look at the number of vendors and team members and ticket takers and parkers and suite attendants and security. You know, this thing takes literally 400 to 500 people to operate over the course of the weekend. So it's no small feat by any means. And, you know, you got to do that as a team. We've got a great team behind us and behind me. And you know, that's what we're here to do. That's our job. And, you know, we get to, you know, for me at least, and for us, it is, it's work. But for you guys and for our fans, it's all about the experience and making memories of a lifetime.
I agree.
I'm predicting track records. I'm predicting records to be broken at that event. And, you know, what a way to go out, too. That's my prediction.
Yeah, no, I certainly hope you're right. And like I said before, our track's never been better. And if the weather gods are on our side, then I think you can certainly see that. I was watching some of the highlights from yesterday's race in Vegas, and was watching some. I think Matt Hagan and John Forrest were we're going 332 miles an hour, which is insane in a funny car. And
in the desert,
they'll have them tuned up, and they will have them. They'll have them going on the track. I think
Seth,
they'll have the edge.
So what's the price of tickets? How do you get to the high level with the Eliminator Club? How does all that work?
Yeah. So the good news is is that all Top Eliminator Club and all Nitro Club tickets are sold out, and that's just evidence of how popular those seating options are. And of course, I think that has a lot to do with that it is the final race that we've got on schedule, and so those premium areas are sold out. But we've got some great daily reserve seating options in our pit side grandstands, that you can go grab, and those start so anywhere from $40 on a Friday to $60 on Saturday and Sunday, and kids 13 and under are free. We encourage bring the family and just come out and hang out and have a good time at the racetrack.
Well, I think it's a great event. I'm a drag racing guy from way back when, before you were born, that's for sure. And it's in my blood. I love coming out there. I love the experience. I love eating hot dogs in the stands. I want to be out there with the fans. So when somebody breaks a track record, or there's some sort of burn down up there at
you're witness to
it. at the Christmas tree, and the fans get on their feet and all are into it. I mean, it's great fun and it's exciting, and it really makes for a great weekend. It's a 3-day event, and we encourage everybody to get you a ticket and go out there. And we're looking forward to seeing you again, my friend.
Yeah, absolutely. We as well, and we'll see you sooner than later.
Seth, thank you. Stay in touch. I'll be looking for that TV commercial on my email so I can strip the audio off of that and run some spots. So anyway, you take care, and we will see you in a few weeks.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate
Thanks, Seth.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well,
what a guy. As always, what an incredible guy.
It's a great event. I'm so fortunate that I have had the chance to be friends with Seth for a long time now, and I had gone away from drag racing because of life events, raising kids and all that sort of stuff. And back in the early 90s, I reintroduced myself to professional drag racing, and I follow it every weekend. And I might not go to all of the events, but I certainly go to the Houston event.
When I worked for Keystone with Joe Amato, 5-time Top Fuel champion, I've got pictures of Laura, my daughter, with Kathy in the grandstands. And then what do we have now? We've got my granddaughter, her daughter, in the grandstands with Kathy, and walking with you in the pits and everything, all the videos, all the drivers. So it has become a family thing, a hand-me-down traditional go-to with the kids.
And it's such a thing that, you can go to baseball games and you can go to football games, and after a while you've gone to a baseball. But to go to a drag race like this, where everything is unique, it's not going to be just a quarterback.
Well, it's touchable. The drivers, you handshake. You can't do that with a football or baseball player.
Well, and you can't do it at NASCAR, and you can't do it with IndyCar or any other motorsport that I'm aware of without a pit pass, and usually it's some sort of a media thing. And here you can walk through the pits. You can walk up to the drivers where they're working on the cars and get the autograph and smell the smells.
See all the hectic things that are going in as they're trying to rebuild a motor in between rounds or whatever it is they're doing, the clutches. And it's nothing like watching on TV. It's no comparison. So you got to go out there to get in there and get it all over you so you can really experience it.
They're talking about a fourth booster shot. Just go to an NHRA event and inhale that, and you'll be fine.
That's exactly it.
It'll cure everything.
It would definitely will, and make you cry at the same time in a good way.
Yes,
kind of like a good date on a Saturday night.
I don't cry on dates, not anymore.
But not any less either.
Not any less either. All right. Well, I forgot to turn the page, so let me turn the page.
Turn the page.
It's Bob Seger.
Is it?
Yeah.
It's a song?
Turn the page.
Turn the page.
Mm-hmm. You know how to play that?
Oh, yeah.
He's a drummer. He can play anything.
You bet. Thank you, Mike.
And ad-lib it.
Exactly.
Most of the time.
Consumers had to wait a while for Jeep to electrify the Grand Cherokee, but the automaker says it was time well spent. The Grand Cherokee 4xE, which launches this spring, brings a unique skill set to the nameplate with 25 miles of electric range and the torque boost that comes from an electrified powertrain. Jeep says the 4xE is more efficient than the gasoline-powered V6, packs more of a performance punch than the V8 model by besting its 0 to 60 mile per hour time. The Grand Cherokee 4xE shares a powertrain setup with the Wrangler 4xE, a model that logged nearly 30,000 U.S. miles in 2021. Propulsion system combines 2 electric motors, a 400-volt battery pack, a 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine, and the TorqueFlite 8-speed automatic transmission. To achieve maximum efficiency and capability, the regenerative braking system replenishes the battery on the go. I think it's going to be a big seller for them. I can tell you that the Ram e-Torque that they put in the Ram
right, in the trucks.
Wow, man, it's a $1,500 option, and it transforms that V8 engine into something you're going, oh yeah, and it still gets decent gas mileage, and it's not a put down of the Hellcat motor, and I get all of that. I get, with horsepower in an internal combustion engine, it's all about fuel.
Mm-hmm.
And they generally don't get that great of fuel mileage. But with that e-Torque thing, and with this, the 4xE electrification, it's spot on. They really do their homework and do a good job with those motor combinations.
Yeah, and the e-Torque really changes the way that truck feels, the driving dynamics of it. Even the shift points feel different, you know? And
it's so smooth. Everything about it, from the time that you hit the gas and get off of the start line, from the stoplight, whatever you want to call it, from the moment that you leave a dead stop all the way up to 80 miles an hour, if that's how fast you want to go. Mm-hmm. All of that is so smooth. There's no heavy shift points, nothing like that. It's just smooth V8 power, kind of like that 1965 Cadillac Brougham. You step on the gasoline, you watch the gas gauge go down in that, but not in this.
Right, right. And it amazes me when I got to go to that reveal, and the idea that the shift point, a regular transmission, when it shifts, for example, 1 to 2, it's like boom, it shifts. Well, they're putting an electric motor to come on during that brief little time.
Yes.
And it comes on and then it goes off so fast, but you can actually tell it. You would think you couldn't feel it, but you can.
Well, when you compare it to a regular, yes.
Yeah, it changes the dynamic of it. It amazes me that the technology, some of the things they can come up with.
Ford Motor Company adding a new package for the 2023 F-150 pickup for budget-conscious buyers who still want some off-road punch. Starting this fall, the automaker will offer a Rattler package on the entry-level F-150 XL trim. It features content from the FX4 package, such as skid plates, electronic rear locking differentials, hill descent control, specially tuned off-road shock absorbers, and all-terrain tires. Ford will detail price information closer to launch. I think that's a good thing. And a bargain. For instance, I'm a 23-year-old. I want me a pickup truck. I can't afford the big expensive ones, and I want a pickup truck. I want a Ford F-150. Now I can get some of the accoutrement on the upper scale stuff at the entry-level price.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, I think so.
To that point, if I could just say something, you talked about the add-ons, the $1,500 for this and $700 for that. Watching John at Mecum on TV yesterday while you were there, some of these vehicles, they would talk about that. Oh, the wheel covers or the hubcaps were a $4 option, or the luggage rack on that '66 Mustang was $16, or the whatever it was. And you're thinking today's market, today's money is what you just said, $1,500 add-on. Back then, it may have seemed a lot, but it really wasn't in our time.
Right.
You lose that money in the couch.
There was a vehicle yesterday. It was if I took a picture of it and the window sticker on it. It was a '68 Oldsmobile 442. I took the picture and the information and sent it to Conrad.
Yeah.
And the sticker price on it was $3,300.
Yeah.
The window sticker for then.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know what the thing went for across the auction block.
It was hard to afford back then. Some folks. Yeah.
And so when you talked about $10 for this or $15 for that was a lot of money in comparison to what the car actually cost and the cost of living and what
Yeah.
you made on a yearly
And
basis.
that always gets me when I watch those shows like that. Wow.
Right.
You know.
U.S. National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, NHTSA, on Sunday reinstated a sharp increase in penalties for automakers whose vehicles do not meet fuel efficiency requirements for model years 2019 and beyond. For the 19 to 21 model years, the fine is $14, up from $5.50 for every 0.1 mile per gallon new vehicles fall short of required fuel economy standards, multiplied by the number of non-complying vehicles sold for that automaker. For the 22 model year, that rises to $15. The decision is expected to cost Chrysler parent Stellantis, for instance, as much as $572 million by the company's prior estimates, while boosting the value of compliance credits sold by Tesla. So there's that.
Yep.
So the automakers, the pressure's on, better gas mileage, and they better hurry up and do it.
Yeah,
And that's why Stellantis is dropping the Hellcat motors and all of that other stuff and going electric, because they really, it's time, in my estimation. I mean, those motors will still be available for us hot rodders.
Yep. Yeah.
But for the everyday guy, let's go ahead and work on gas mileage.
No, the electric's going to sound like the Jetsons thing.
Michigan environmental regulators issued a violation notice to Jeep parent Stellantis late last week for objectionable paint solvent odors at the Detroit Assembly Complex on Mack Avenue.
You sure it's paint that they're smelling?
It's their upper lip. It's the latest in a growing list of air quality violations for the automaker, which said Monday it is addressing the concerns, quote unquote, with urgency. Violation issued last Thursday was the result of a Michigan Department of Environment, Great Lakes and Energy investigator documenting odors of moderate intensity in neighborhoods near the Detroit plant, according to a copy of the violation notice. Stellantis must respond to the violation by April 14th, according to the regulators. All I could think of was Ron White, the comedian Ron White, and his thing with the paper plant over on the other side of town, where it stunk, and he raised all sorts of hell, and it was a joke on his routine,
Right.
And that paper plant over there sued him.
Really?
He said, it stinks. It smells bad. How do you make paper smell bad?
Yeah.
It's a tree.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it was a big deal.
And then we got Pasadena.
Well,
we have
Let me
a
tell you
paper
something.
mill up in East Texas, and when it gets right, they're making paper.
I'll tell you this, that, whatever you want to say about Pasadena, I don't care. They have cleaned up their act over there. And when there is a release of something, everybody knows it, and the phone calls start flying.
Well,
that just doesn't happen very much
Well, it's
anymore.
from a past reputation that didn't happen, but now
right.
that's all evolved into that. But it used to be named that odor when you drove through the
Yes,
city.
it
What
did.
does that smell like to you?
Duty. The U.S. Senate on Monday again approved a bill to provide $52 billion in U.S. subsidies for semiconductor chips manufacturing in a bid to reach a compromise after months of discussions. The persistent global shortage of chips has disrupted the production in the automotive and electronics industries, forcing some manufacturers to scale back production, and there have been growing calls to decrease reliance on other countries for semiconductors. White House spokesman Jen Psaki, who's leaving, by the way, did you hear that?
Yeah, I
she's
saw
going
that.
to MSNBC, a perfect place for her.
Like a
Said the
primary
Senate
thing.
vote was another step to strengthen our supply chains, make more in America, and outcompete China and the rest of the world for decades to come. Jen.
She's going to be the live version when they do the Peanuts Christmas thing live. She will be the live version of Peppermint Patty.
I would like to see that. Again, I can quote you on that?
Sure.
Okay, perfect.
A stage play.
Peppermint Patty.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Insurance Institute for Highway Safety is rolled out a new rating program for seatbelt reminders, and it is the first round of tests on small and mid-sized utility vehicles. Only Subaru models received good marks. Almost half of the other vehicles received poor ratings. What?
Subaru is pretty much
wait
number one in
just a
safety.
minute. Seatbelt reminders.
it shouldn't be a reminder. I mean, if I forget to put my seatbelt
I
on
don't
and
forget
I'm going
to
out the
put.
driveway,
I never forget to put my seatbelt on.
You freak out. You got to put the seatbelt
Whether
on.
there's a reminder or not,
Yeah.
I never forget to
Yeah.
put my seat. It's part of what you do. It's like putting the key in the ignition switch or starting the button. You just do it. It's not that, except for
Not
you.
everybody just does it.
Mars.
I still see people out
you
there
need
that
to
don't
be
wear 'em.
arrested.
Well, I almost was.
I'm going to call the Sugarland Police Department right now and say, well, listen, when he leaves here, would you make sure that he's wearing his seatbelt? Because
No.
if he's not, I want him arrested.
You need to give him
Presidio, Texas, where the only paved road is the
Presidio.
highway that goes through downtown.
Most
Everything
people
else
don't
is dirt.
even know what the name Presidio is.
It's on the border.
I understand
It's
that,
on
but
the
I'm
border.
just saying to you.
So leave the
Who
hotel.
goes to Presidio, Texas?
My wife and I went to
Presidians.
Presidio one night. We
Yeah.
were there on the way to
Yeah,
someplace
and you
else.
didn't get killed?
Nope. Backed out of the hotel, talking. We were laughing about the fact that there was no paved roads except for the highway. Pull out to go find someplace to eat.
Woo.
Exactly. Highway Patrol comes to that town once a month. And guess where he was? Been there all day. And he was
Presidio.
leaving. And there I come. I pull out right in front of him with no seatbelt on.
If you're not careful, he's going to pull a Will Smith on you.
Yeah, well, he's already told me what that was all about.
Yeah.
And I don't want to hear that
Yeah.
again. Do you?
He's better be careful.
You don't even know what you said.
Better
do you,
roll the
Mark?
tape
No,
back.
that was
Roll
too
the
long
tape
ago.
back.
Yeah, roll the tape back.
Roll the tape back, and you're going to go, oh, my God, did I actually say that?
Exactly.
I doubt that I said anything inappropriate.
To receive a good rating, a vehicle must generate a loud signal and visual alert that lasts at least 90 seconds when somebody in the front row is unbuckled, and at least 30 seconds when a previously buckled second row seatbelt becomes undone.
That's a long 90 seconds is a long time with a
Somebody,
buzzer.
wait a minute, and somebody gets paid to do this?
What's the most annoying noise you have?
It's copy being
90
torn
seconds.
on. What? I don't seatbelt. No.
Throw that away.
Yeah, throw that away.
Unless it was like a really nice soft voice. Please buckle your seatbelt.
Hi, Don.
No, it's more like, hey, buckle up.
That would be yours.
Yes.
Mine would be, Don, we know that you don't have your seatbelt buckled. Would you like me to come in there and buckle it for you?
Oh boy.
Okay.
Oh boy.
Press this button and I'll be right there. No, it doesn't work that way.
There's people out there that go have a cigarette right now after leaving.
Quick break now. We're right back. You're on
Oh,
the In Wheel
no.
Time Car Talk Show on iHeartRadio.
Father's Day weekend, Saturday, June 18th, 2022. It's the next Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise In, and you're invited. Tailpipes and Tacos Father's Day edition will be at the same Loopy Tortilla in Katy, 8 to 11 a.m. on Saturday, June 18th. It's the only place cruisers compete for trophies and other prizes. Enter your vehicle for Best Hot Rod, Best Classic, and Best Modern Classic. Tailpipes and Tacos is Houston's coolest cruise-in and is your opportunity to see the best hot rods, show cars, classics, and resto mods, and get Loopy Tortilla breakfast tacos and adult beverages. There's no entry fee, and cars will automatically compete for custom Loopy trophies and other prizes. It all happens at the Loopy Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard, just south of I-10. Kick off summer with Tailpipes and Tacos Father's Day edition, Saturday, June 18th. The In Real Time Car Talk Show will be there too. Celebrate Father's Day, the start of summer, and the return of Tailpipes and Tacos. Saturday morning, June 18th, 8 to 11. We'll see you then, weather permitting.
Mecum Auctions, the world's largest collector car auction company, returns to Houston March 31st through April 2nd at NRG Center. Featuring 1,000 muscle cars, Corvettes, trucks, customs, and more. Broadcast live on Motor Trend TV and Motor Trend Plus. We welcome everyone to Houston to bid in person, and enhanced online bidding and telephone options make it easy to join the Mecum experience from anywhere in the world. Register to bid now at Mecum.com.
The In Wheel Time Car Talk Show is now part of the iHeart family. Now you'll have access to 24/7 Car Talk anytime you need a fix. Just download the iHeartRadio app and ask for In Wheel Time Car Talk, and there we are. Be sure to save us in your iHeart library for instant access. No matter where you are, you have the best Car Talk Show right on your PC, laptop, or mobile device and never have to worry about finding us again. Of course, you can always get access to our video and audio streams via InWheelTime.com and your favorite podcast channel, and all of this is free to you. From the iHeartRadio app, you'll not only hear our Saturday morning live show, but the best shows of the past, updated weekly. Never miss a minute of up-to-date new car reviews, pre-owned reviews, Conrad's Car Clinic, informative interviews, automotive news, and the most fun car talk show on the planet. Just download the iHeartRadio app, search for In Wheel Time Car Talk, save it to your library, and with a tap of the icon, you'll be in touch with your favorite car talk team. In Wheel Time Car Talk, streaming now on iHeart.com/In Wheel Time Car Talk.
Welcome to the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show on iHeartRadio. Coming up, Nina Saint from Safeway Driving. I got to drive the 2022 Kia Sorento. Tell you my thoughts on it. We'll look at the cruise-in calendar and this week in auto history, plus the stories making car news this week. Just ahead in this hour of the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Howdy. Along with Mike Out of This World Mars, we need more Jeff Zekin, as always. I'm Don Armstrong. Glad you could join us on this Saturday on our live broadcast. And I believe that this would be the Thursday podcast.
Yes,
don't even try to
correct.
think about
That's
it.
Correct.
Yeah, okay. So don't even. I didn't want to strain your brain any more than it already
just did.
is.
Gosh,
I'm
Did it
done.
hurt?
I'm done
It
for the
did.
day.
it hurt.
Are you done for the day?
I'm done for the day.
Boy, you were done when you walked in this morning, my
It
friend.
was a good breakfast. I think that's what put us
Oh,
over.
That's what it did.
I'm your Will Smith. Just saying. By the way, he has resigned his position with the Academy of Arts and Sciences.
know
What
you had a
does that
position.
really mean?
I don't
Did he
know.
resign? It's like resigning from the Texas Auto Writers Association. It means nothing. Who cares?
It means you're not getting a trophy or whatever.
You have six of them.
I didn't get any. Well, that's right.
True. We got
George has presented us with the taco trophies, and thank you, George. Again, we appreciate it. We had him on earlier in the show. Let me have one of those. Let me see what it
He
is.
was on the beach
Thank you so much. Why did you pick that one?
because it could.
because
reach
I
it.
could reach.
It says In Wheel Time Show of 2022 Loopy's Tacos. So we're going to come up with a way that we can present one to each of you, and we're going to come up with it, and it's going to be really good. Jeff's going to actually work on the rules to apply for one of these fine In Wheel Time Show of 2022 Loopy's Tacos.
It's like Fight Club. There are no rules.
And by the way, and if you can't really see that, that's a picture of a taco that nobody has ever seen before because it's perfect in every way.
well, at
That's right.
Lupe's Tortillas, you can get a taco like that, and we should give one.
I don't want a taco like that.
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
want that.
Yeah, that's
No.
pretty.
I
That's
want the
good.
soft one with the.
I
flour
want,
tortilla.
I want one that's got all
Need to give
my
one to
stuff in
Stan.
there that
Stan, he would be our first recipient of that.
Well, it's time now to move on. Now
I
that
took
we've
it
had
out of line.
our breakfast tacos, and we're going to talk with Nina Saint, and she is with the Safeway Driving School. Nina, good morning to you.
Good morning to y'all. Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Nina, you know, it's that time of the year, and as a parent, now I have grown adult daughters, but there are so many kids that this is the time of year that we're going to teach them how to drive.
Yes.
And
Yes.
and you know, I know that these days that parents want to say, "Oh, I know how to drive. I can teach my kid how to drive." Oh yeah, you're going to teach your kid how to drive with your bad habits. So, and matter of fact, this was brand new back when I was in that position to teach the kids how to drive, and I think I did a fairly decent job at it. I would consider myself a pretty good driver, but just to have a third outside therapist, I hired a driving school, and they put them through the summer drive. I don't know what it was, 6 weeks or something like that, and they went a couple of times a week. And I felt good about it, and they have turned out to be pretty good drivers with no tickets and no wrecks or anything
Great.
like that. So apparently something worked along the way. But you're here to help. So
Right.
let's talk about how what it takes to get your kid. What is it? 15 years old now? 16? What is it?
Right. They can begin driver's ed. They can begin actually the classroom at 14, the in-car at 15. That are state regulations. They can't get a license until age 15, but they're required to complete 32 hours of classroom instruction, 7 hours of behind the wheel instruction, 7 hours of observation, and an additional 30 hours of supervised driving practice.
So do you guys, when you set up let's say a new student, we'll just go with that. When you set up a new student to come into Safeway driving, do you try to get the parents involved in this as well?
We do, because the supervised the 30 hours are the parents, or they can designate someone to do that. And we have multiple driving packages, so they can hire, us to do it, or they can do it. So parents are definitely a part of the program. So we encourage them to work with their students during the online instruction. Ours is an online driver education course, so there's 32 hours that they can sit together and go through the course. Because according to research, teens still listen to their parents.
No, they do not. Hell, I didn't listen to mine. Did you listen to yours, Nina?
Yes, I did.
You did? Oh, of course you did.
Well, I was in military family, so we're kind of a little different.
There you go.
Orders are.
Okay, I'll buy that.
We know those marching orders.
Yes, exactly.
We grow up with those, so I may have a little different background than others, but and ultimately, the parent does have a lot of influence. I'm not sure they think they do. But again, it's the parents. Until they're 18, we're dealing with a minor. So it's really the parent that should be highly involved in making the decisions for their student moving to the phase when they drive on their own. How many passengers? I know we have a state graduated driver's licensing law, which they're only supposed to have one passenger under the age of 21 in the vehicle with them till they're 18. But again, sometimes even age 18 isn't the key where they should have a whole lot of passengers. So some of these decisions, the parent and the student need to make together. A lot of traffic safety organizations recommend signing a teen parent contract. Each of them have things to do. You can progress to this stage if you meet this criteria. So yes, we do encourage the parent to be highly involved.
So in other words, you can't take, you driving mom's Buick Skylark and 4 passengers in there down to the Mecum Fountain to Suds-It, or to go to the Kmart and buy a ginormous box, 24 toilet paper rolls, and go over to Bel Air High School and wrap the trees in the courtyard at Bel Air. So you're trying to prevent those kind of things from happening.
It's having flashbacks.
Right, because again, the more passengers the young driver has in the car, we're not preventing that, but the higher likely of a crash happening.
Well, yeah.
They can have as many family members as they wish.
Well, we weren't really too worried about crashes, because we were kind of obeying the law, because we didn't want the police to stop us and find the 24 rolls of toilet paper in the trunk. So, we were obeying the law, but there were 5 of us in the car.
Well, to me,
get him some water.
To me, it sounds like, because the parents involved, the student or the young person that's driving, because it doesn't have to be, it might be an 18-year-old with their first driver's license, so it doesn't really matter the age. It's the parent that is on the hook, is the responsible party, no matter what age that driver is.
So let me just say this and let me just interject here, because Jeff has got a granddaughter that is about to join that group.
And I've been writing notes down. Yeah, absolutely.
A granddaughter that's about to join into that group. So here you got Grandpa trying to teach the 13-year-old, the 14-year-old how to drive, and, bring all of this together. And so he can still be the dad to the daughter and grandpa to the granddaughter.
No, that's why that's why we have Nina, because it would be an opportunity to go through Nina to do this and her recommendations, rather than putting the stress on old grandpa. Exactly. Or grandma.
Yeah, and grandpa doesn't need to be any more stressed than he already is. So, Nina, I have to ask you, Safeway driving, now I know that you mentioned that it's all the classroom stuff's done online, but where are the offices to do the behind-the-wheel part?
We've got multiple locations in the greater Houston area, Bel Air, Cypress, First Colony, the Sugar Land area.
Okay.
Grand Oaks, Katy, Kingwood, Klein, Memorial City area, Sienna, Missouri City, the Woodlands, and we're also located in College Station, Bryan area.
Now, you don't have instructors like I had in high school that yelled and screamed at you in the car when you were driving the AMC, the Rambler, as the instructional car, and the brakes were so sensitive you just barely touched them and everybody would shoot through the windshield.
Well, glad that vehicles have changed since then, so we don't have that touchy brake situation. But we train our instructors; they're highly trained and qualified. And if the instructor's out of control yelling, then the student's going to be more out of control. So it's one of the training things we talk about a whole lot. Of we just got to keep those emotions under control.
So
not do that.
So, in other words, these instructors do have fingernails that have not been chewed down to the quick.
Well, now we do run across some students once in a while that will, push us to our limits, but we're trained not to do that. Trying to remain calm, but sometimes the traffic situation will get us all a little shaking. We'll try to hold it in.
See, so in other words, you do have some Don Armstrongs every once in a while that you find in the class, and you have to kind of take them aside and say, "Look, buddy, you need to calm down just a bit because you're about to give our instructor a heart attack."
Yeah, we've had those discussions before. We got some that. They push the accelerator as they push the brake, which are totally different.
Have you ever had any of those that you had to just finally give up and just either bring the parents in, call them aside, bring them into the office, and say, "Look, this is just not working the way that we had planned. We're going to have to come up with some other method to get your child taught."
We try not to. We try to get and. Go as far as we can with them, but sometimes that does happen. It's not,
it's not always milk and honey.
Right. They complete the required amount of hours, but we encourage more hours.
Nina,
talk with a parent, give them some things to work on with their students. We've even had a parent take a lesson with us so they knew what to teach their students.
Yeah,
see, now
that's good. That's good.
Why
we want to go that far. I mean, we believe that driving's a learned skill set.
Now, are you in the vehicle with them?
Everybody can learn. Pardon?
Are you in the vehicle with them? Do you actually go out there with the students yourself, or are you a teacher as well?
I have done it in the past. I've actually started in public school driver education. Now work with Safeway Driving. I've been in the state oversight agency for driver's ed in the state. So I've kind of been in different roles my whole life. On that. So I've had all those experiences in the car.
And the brake pedal on the passenger side, or?
We have an instructor brake and instructor mirrors for the instructor. So those are additional to what already is current in the vehicle that the student uses. So we try to have as many safety features as we can to be able to take control of the vehicle. And we train our instructors, we take control.
Do they still have high school instructors?
We still have a few high schools. About a little less than 2% are taught in public schools currently.
God, because I remember going through the beginning of driver's ed in junior high school. Albert Sidney Johnston Junior High School. Go Greyhounds. And I'll never forget sitting in the auditorium going, I know more than this person.
Oh, yeah.
Because I was 13, 14 years old.
Absolutely.
Taking my first driver's ed course.
Sure.
And I was interested until they got to there were no seat belts. There was none of that stuff. But, they're talking about going the speed limit. Hell, my mother never went the speed limit. Why should I go the speed limit? So I'm sure that you have dealt with jerks like me at 13 years old. I can only imagine what that would be like.
Well, it's kind of one of those things, you just kind of tell them, if you wish your license, here are our rules. Here is our agreement we're going to have here in driver's ed. You follow the instructions of the instructor or the teacher, or you don't continue.
Yeah. And
See, that's a good thing. 14-year-olds aren't allowed to get a license anymore.
Yeah, that's right.
I learned a lot of French because every time the conversation was, "Oh, pardon my French."
There was that.
Yeah.
So, Nina, I want to shift gears here, so to speak, and talk to you about adult driving lessons.
Yes.
And I can tell you that all of us sitting here on the dais today,
Mike Mars.
and you are probably aware of adults that for some reason, somehow they pulled the wool over somebody's eyes and got a driver's license and should not to this day, even though they're 40 or 50 years old, should not be driving.
Mike Mars.
Correct. We do have private lessons where adults can, if they want a refresher, they can come do a private lesson with us. Adults 18 to under 25 are required to have at least an online 6 hours of classroom, which is ours, an online program for that. And then we have several packages where they can add in-car to it. But yes, we see all those drivers on the road.
Do you also have a program set up for the elderly?
Yes, we do. We can evaluate the elderly. What we term the senior citizens. Sometimes the children of those senior citizens are concerned whether they should continue driving at all. Sometimes the doctors send them to us wanting an evaluation of their driving skills because the doctors can file a form to have that license removed also.
Well, I have to tell you that my dad, rest his soul, he was 92 when he passed. But he drove up until, I guess, 6 months or so before he passed. And I will tell you that my dad was never a race car driver. But for whatever reason, I don't know what happened, but the older that Dad got, the heavier his right foot. Let me put it that way. He would leave the house, and he would zoom down the street. I mean, a lot more than 30 miles an hour. And I'd call him on the phone, Dad. What's going on? What do you mean what's going on? I drive just fine. There's no problem. Dad, don't you think the kids in the neighborhood would appreciate it if you'd slow down a little bit instead of running them off the roads on their bicycles? Wow. That kind of thing. And I think that there are some elderly that really should not be driving. And how do you tell a person they shouldn't be driving? Well, Nina, we're going to call you and let you do it. How's that?
Kathy tells me that all the time.
we do that. We have evaluations. We also have evaluations for corporate clients, so we can evaluate their drives and give them a response. Again, we try to give alternatives if there are issues to whoever is requested the evaluation. But those are, very touchy areas. My mother got the letter from the Texas Department of Public Safety saying her license was revoked. It was medical reasons. I wish I'd opened the letter before she did because she wasn't driving. But to know that she lost her license was just devastating to her. It was something that took a while to get over.
Well, it's like putting somebody in jail because now you've lost the freedom of being able to go and do what you have always done all of your life.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. Yeah. The same freedom teens realize once they get their license is a loss of freedom that adult feels, that senior citizens feels when they lose their license.
Yeah.
Now, if you, there are some,
to deal with, but we try to do our best.
There are some courts, if you get a traffic ticket and you go before the judge and he says, okay, you can take a driver's course to alleviate the ticket or have it dismissed. Do you offer those services as well?
We have a third party that we have it on our website. People get information on. We don't teach the course ourselves, but we partner with another person in our industry that does. But that's called a driving safety or defensive driving ticket dismissal course. It's 6 hours in length currently. So,
Nina, how much?
And it's just to bring driving to the front, that frontal lobe. But we kind of hide some of these safety features back in the back part of our brain. So, just a reminder course. Oh yeah, I should have been doing that.
Nina, what is your website? Is it Safeway.com?
It's SafewayDriving.com.
Safeway Driving, very good. Well, listen, it is a real pleasure to talk to you, and please don't take offense to our some of our funny ways of trying to get this related to our listeners, but we all take driving for granted and shouldn't. And teaching our kids, I think, good habits from the very beginning go a long way.
Yeah, I know. When we're in the car, students will say, those people are smiling at us. I said, they're smiling because they're remembering their driver's ed.
That's exactly right. Nina, thank you so much.
Bring that to us. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Time, guys.
All right, take care. I love it.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess I need to do a car review.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I was just thinking about when I went through it and learning all the signage, the regulatory signs, the safety signs, all that stuff.
I used hand signals. Do you remember those? They used to teach those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hand out this way,
down
over this way, hand down that way.
And how many fingers on that hand?
Yeah, there's that too.
There is.
Right. Do you want to do the cruise-in calendar, or do you want me to do the car review?
It's either way, because the cruise-in is what we.
Is that what you did earlier?
Yeah, we messed up a little bit on that. But yeah.
All right. Well, then, if you've already done it, we're not going to do it again.
Okay. We can throw it.
Time now for the car review of this hour. 2022 Kia Sorento. It just left the parking garage this week and went back to Dallas. So the Sorento is available in several trim levels. Starts off with the LX, goes to S, ES, SX, and X line. I had the X line, SX, all-wheel drive Prestige. Top of the line, I would assume. Small SUV, but they have managed to cram in 3 rows of seating. Oh. Now, me personally, if you need to have 3 rows of seating, this is not the car that I would buy. But, for affordability, for families that are young, small children, need a 3rd row, this may be just right for you. Exterior changes from last year, well, it was completely redesigned in 2021. Aggressive yet attractive nose and grille with attractive headlights. Quad taillights are unique. Lots of edgy styling to the exterior of this vehicle. Black, gray, or smoky wheels are all the rage, and boy, they got them. Sunshade over the rear hatch glass is convenient, especially for those 3rd-row passengers. Mm-hmm. What I liked about it, the overall styling. This thing will sell in masses. It is attractive, and it reaches just the right demographic. I think that they've got a winner on their hands here. What could use improvement? Maybe a little bit more vibrant colors in the options, but we've all seen the stories about how manufacturers choose colors for the times of our lives, mm-hmm. and right now it's grays and blacks. That seems to be the thing. Anyway, interior, big infotainment screen that flows out of the instrument cluster. It's rather unique. Attractive, usable dash controls in all the right places. Handy passive phone charger in the center console, and quilted seat accents gives it an upscale look, but I already had the upscale package, so that's kind of comes with it. The one nice thing about this is that, as far as pricing is concerned, is that when they put them in packages, there are no up charges because it's included in the price of the package. Cargo trunk room, tiny with the 3rd row up, but that's how they get the 3rd row back there. What I liked about it, the convenient controls throughout the cabin. What could use improvement? The infotainment configuration could be simpler, but as I say in all of the reviews that I don't necessarily find real intuitive, you work with it a while and you'll get it all down like steak on rice. Yeah. Engine was a 2.5-liter turbocharged array with 191 horsepower, 181 pound-feet of torque, delivered through an 8-speed automatic transmission. And it would tow up to... Did you forget that that's attached to a microphone? Yeah. Okay. Tow rating 2,000 pounds, so small trailer, something like that. Miles per gallon, 22 in the city, 27 on the highway, for a combined of 24 miles per gallon. I got 23.3 miles per gallon over 385.7 miles. What I liked about it, the peppy engine. With the turbocharger on it, believe it or not, even only 191 horsepower, it would get up and go. A little turbo lag, but once that turbo got spinning, zoom you away from the stoplight.
Great.
What could use improvement? I'm not a huge fan of the dual clutch setup. Basically, a dual clutch is a manual transmission that is operated automatically. You don't have to do anything to it but press the accelerator like you would a regular transmission. But it shifts differently. It feels different than a regular, standard, old automatic transmission. It takes a little getting used to. The start-stop feature is annoying. There is a button to turn it off. I say, let's keep it off all the time, and if I want it on, I'll press the button. Just say it.
Yeah.
Ride and handling, I like the smoothness of this vehicle. As far as improvement to that, nothing. It's a family car, not a road course cutter, so expect that. This is a family-friendly affair that is really cutting-edge looking. I like the thing.
Yeah, I saw it. It was nice. Very
Base
nice.
trim level on this particular vehicle was $43.90. Prices tested, which was tax and delivery, $45,120. Base model price, you can get in this thing for as little as $29,590, but go and try to find one of those on the dealer
Even
lot.
the 45 is nice.
You are not going to find that on a dealer lot. Competitors, the Buick Encore GX starts at $26,415, the Honda CR-V $26,400, and the Mazda CX-5 for $25,900. That's the review of the 2022 Kia Sorento. I like it. I give it high marks, especially for growing families. I think that they're pretty much dependable, and it's a pretty good-looking vehicle.
And even loaded up to 45, that's not a bad price at all.
Considering the fact that in today's world, 45 is about the sweet spot for the average price of a car these days on a new car lot.
My wife's got a 2015, and she loves it.
A Kia Sorento?
Yes. The only problem
I
we've
didn't know
had with
that.
it is when she pulled out in front of a truck. So it's kind of self-inflicted, but otherwise, the only thing we've done to it is regular maintenance. It's got 90,000 miles
You know,
on
it's
it.
so funny because I haven't seen your wife in years, much less the car that she drives.
Yeah,
I think this is all BS, and I don't think that you actually have a wife, nor does she have a Kia Sorento.
Yeah,
I think you just made it all up.
She should contact Nina if she's pulling out in front of trucks.
That's true. That was the first accident she's ever had.
Oh boy!
Shh, don't bring it up.
Okay,
She's not listening.
He's not
this point.
not living at the house anyway.
Oh.
Now he won't be even living in the state
boy.
after this.
Oh boy!
Easy.
Just wanted to say that.
Thank
Look
you.
at that guy.
I know. Cousin Steve from Wisconsin is here,
Hi,
along
Steve.
with his beautiful wife Penny, and it's good to see you guys. I know. Never mind.
It's a blast. We had a great time
yeah.
at dinner the other night. It was wonderful.
Yeah, we did have a few laughs, did we not?
What you remember
Of
of
course, that's what you get when you bring Steve into the picture. All right.
and alcohol.
Hey, and alcohol, yes. You mix anything with alcohol and Steve, and it's going to be a fun time.
Woo-hoo.
Trust me. Here's somebody that I've known all of my... No, he's known me all of my life. What do you think about that? Hey, the In Wheel Time Car Show streams on iHeartRadio, or the radio app, and on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and InWheelTime.com. Podcasts are available from your favorite podcast source. The In Wheel Time Car Show continues right after this quick break.
Father's Day weekend, Saturday, June 18th, 2022. It's the next Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise In, and you're invited. Tailpipes and Tacos Father's Day edition will be at the same Loopy Tortilla in Katy, 8 to 11 a.m. on Saturday, June 18th. It's the only place cruisers compete for trophies and other prizes. Enter your vehicle for Best Hot Rod, Best Classic, and Best Modern Classic. Tailpipes and Tacos is Houston's coolest cruise-in and is your opportunity to see the best hot rods, show cars, classics, and resto mods, and get Loopy Tortilla breakfast tacos and adult beverages. There's no entry fee, and cars will automatically compete for custom Loopy trophies and other prizes. It all happens at the Loopy Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard, just south of I-10. Kick off summer with Tailpipes and Tacos Father's Day edition, Saturday, June 18th. The In Real Time Car Talk Show will be there too. Celebrate Father's Day, the start of summer, and the return of Tailpipes and Tacos. Saturday morning, June 18th, 8 to 11. We'll see you then, weather permitting.
Mecum Auctions, the world's largest collector car auction company, returns to Houston March 31st through April 2nd at NRG Center. Featuring 1,000 muscle cars, Corvettes, trucks, customs, and more. Broadcast live on Motor Trend TV and Motor Trend Plus. We welcome everyone to Houston to bid in person, and enhanced online bidding and telephone options make it easy to join the Mecum experience from anywhere in the world. Register to bid now at Mecum.com.
The In Wheel Time Car Talk Show is now part of the iHeart family. Now you'll have access to 24/7 Car Talk anytime you need a fix. Just download the iHeartRadio app and ask for In Wheel Time Car Talk, and there we are. Be sure to save us in your iHeart library for instant access. No matter where you are, you have the best Car Talk show right on your PC, laptop, or mobile device and never have to worry about finding us again. Of course, you can always get access to our video and audio streams via InWheelTime.com and your favorite podcast channel, and all of this is free to you. From the iHeartRadio app, you'll not only hear our Saturday morning live show, but the best shows of the past, updated weekly. Never miss a minute of up-to-date new car reviews, pre-owned reviews, Conrad's Car Clinic, informative interviews, automotive news, and the most fun car talk show on the planet. Just download the iHeartRadio app, search for In Wheel Time Car Talk, save it to your library, and with a tap of the icon, you'll be in touch with your favorite Car Talk team. In Wheel Time Car Talk, streaming now on iHeart.com/InWheelTimeCarTalk.
Welcome to the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show here on iHeartRadio. Coming up, a mother-daughter off-road race team.
Yes.
We'll have This Week in Auto History. I think that Conrad supplied that before he...
Yep, I got it.
Before he went off gallivanting around the state of Texas, being cheap like he is.
Yeah.
We're going to get you updated on the stories making car news this week as well. Howdy along with Mike out of This World Mars. We need more Jeff Zekin. I'm Don Armstrong. Thanks so much for joining us today. And I had some notes here, but I don't have them any longer, Mr. Mars. You're going to have to help me out until I can find the notes that I had. Oh, no, here it is.
Good, because
Ta-da.
You don't have, no, I'm sorry I even brought it up with you. I know about you and all of that.
I know about you. I know what you did last night.
Oh, my gosh.
There's a movie about that.
Really? All right. Well, let's talk to a racing team, shall we? Dana and Susie Saxton, good morning, and thanks for joining us today.
Good morning. Thanks for having us.
Where are we speaking to you from?
We're in San Diego, California.
San Diego.
Oh.
Wow. I love San Diego. Who doesn't like San Diego?
It's a beautiful place.
Yes.
It's 8:30 in the morning.
And it's also very expensive and very early in the morning there. Thanks for getting up to join us.
Our pleasure.
So we have a mutual friend by the name of Sue Mead. Apparently you guys know her.
Yes.
And yes, and Sue said we needed to talk to you guys. And apparently you all have been involved with her just recently, as a matter of fact, in the Rally Jameel. Is that correct?
Yes.
So did you all fly to Saudi Arabia to get involved in this?
We did. Yeah. So Rally Jameel is the first all women's off-road rally in Saudi Arabia. And we had the amazing opportunity to go over there and witness it and compete and meet some amazing Saudi Arabian women in the process.
Well, before we get into all of that, I need to get a little background on you two. A mother-daughter racing team. Now, explain to me how this came about.
Well, this was our first event that we've done together. We've been actually competing against each other in several rallies, but we both have other partners. But for this event, they couldn't join us, so we decided to be in the same car together. And we're both usually navigators or co-drivers. So this was the first time that my mom ever drove in a rally.
And I have to interject here. I see that you were both still alive, and you you survived the violence within the car, the mother-daughter thing.
Yes.
Because you have to understand, I have two daughters, and I still to this day don't quite understand that mother-daughter thing. And there are times that it can get kind of a little ugly. I don't know you two very well at all, but I'm just saying
in general.
In general, and I can't imagine. You two, you made me turn the wrong way. I mean, there's, was there ever any of those kind of things?
No, I think we did pretty well, actually. Susie was very encouraging to me as the driver. And when I started to bog down, she just told me to go, 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 go. So we actually did pretty well. I think we broke the stereotype of mother-daughter activities together.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. Yeah, and I noticed there are no slap marks across either one of the faces, and I'm sure that you are aware of the Will Smith and the slapping. Whatever. We won't go in that direction here this morning. But is this a speed event that you guys were involved in, or a timed event?
This is a navigation rally. So it is not a speed event. It's about getting specific waypoints in the desert and navigating to them. The only thing that really has a time component is you have to get a certain number of waypoints in the day. So you're kind of working against the clock and the sun. You have to keep moving, but it's not a speed rally per se.
So in other words, the course is laid out in such a way that if you do the speed limit and you make the right turns and you hit your waypoints the right way, that's where the win comes in. Am I right?
Yes, exactly. There's two components. There's waypoints where you have to navigate to a certain place, a certain set of coordinates. And there's also an average speed section, which I'm sure, is common in many different types of rallies, where you have to maintain an average speed for a certain stretch of the course. And that's another place that you can get points.
How many competitors were there in the event that you were in?
There were 34 teams of 2.
Oh my, that's a lot. 34.
Yeah.
Now, you all didn't leave at the same time, did you?
No, they set you off the start line about 2 minutes apart. So it pretty well keeps the team spread apart. You can drive, for half an hour and not see another team, which is kind of a wild feeling.
So how do you,
out in the desert?
How did you get into this? Is there a school to learn how to do rallies, or you just get a car and say, we're going for it, and read the rules and go?
We're lucky to have a mentor. Her name is Emily Miller, who is a racer, a former racer, and it's kind of her dream to get women into off-road sports. So she, through a mutual friend, got us into this and trained us how to do it and taught us how to drive off-road and to navigate. And it's been a really fun journey. We've competed in a lot of these events. This was the first one in Saudi Arabia. But we're really lucky to have this as a hobby.
What kind of vehicle were you in?
We were in a rental Toyota Prado that they provided for us. And usually other people brought their own cars. The women in Saudi Arabia, some of them had cars that they brought, but we used the Prado.
Is there an off-road component to this?
It is.
Oh,
yes.
yes.
The whole thing is off-road.
The whole thing is off-road. So
Yes.
there's no gas station stops because you got to go to the bathroom, is what I'm saying.
No, you have to figure that out on the course.
So
okay.
is this a factory type vehicle, or is it a purpose-built racer?
Yeah, so these rallies, specifically this navigation rally, was designed for stock vehicles. So it definitely has, or it's a benefit to have a good set of off-road tires. But other than that, the vehicles are completely stock, and it's pretty amazing what they can do. I mean, we're driving in sand dunes, we're driving on gravel, and these vehicles are pretty capable.
So there's no street signs. There's no markers to keep you going in the right direction. You could wander off on some sand dune and wind up in the Arabian Sea.
That could happen, I think. We didn't get lost out there. Some people did get lost. We didn't have maps on this rally. So
oh my God.
You were a little challenged if you got lost to find your way back on the course.
Well, how did you navigate? Is this all GPS?
So they provide you with a road book, which is, it has tulip notes showing which way to go with mileage amounts, and then we have a GPS unit in the car that's also reading your mileage, and it's called a Stella. It's used for a few different types of rallies. I know the Sonora rally uses it, and it'll kind of open waypoints as you get close to them, and you kind of use the Stella to guide your way in. So you're following the road book, you're looking at your GPS unit, trying to figure out where you need to be.
No,
But
so in other words,
you're
this
not
is
actually programming where you want to go.
This is more instrument flight rating than visual flight rules, basically.
Yes, I mean, if you're calling the road book an instrument, I would say that's true.
So it's not a key map or anything. It's just regular. regular map?
Yeah, it's showing waypoints. It's showing, there's a, power line up ahead. You need to turn right in front of it. So there's tulip notes showing the directions and the arrows and with mileage. So you're kind of checking around you, checking your mileage, making sure that you're hitting these waypoints.
Now, when you see a waypoint and you go past it, is there something that says this is a waypoint?
No, your GPS unit will ding, and that's how you know that you've hit something. Which kind of yeah, it sounds like a video game actually. When you're driving through the desert, you pass through a waypoint and it goes ding.
And how many days did you? How were you on this? How many days?
This was a 3-day rally, a little shorter than the ones that we usually do in California, but it was enough to challenge you, I would say. And for the women some of these women, one woman only got her driver's license last week, the week before.
Oh, wow.
So these women, some of them were more experienced drivers than others. They would drive off-road on their family's farm, but they've only been able to drive since 2018. So the 3 days out on the road and 1 day in tents on the way out was challenging enough, I think.
I cannot even imagine something like this. I would have liked to have been a fly on the wall on that one. So 33 teams, where did you guys finish?
We finished 8th.
Wow.
Way to go.
Fantastic.
That is fantastic.
And I had a really good navigator.
Yeah, allegedly.
Yeah. And, I would imagine that she's probably well-schooled in all things electronics. And she's of that age.
Yeah, she's of that age. Yeah.
That's true.
And I'm sure that came in handy. So you left the car there. Did you get a trophy, a certificate, a plaque, or how did that work out?
Yeah, we got a little trophy thing, and it was good.
Are you guys going to do this again?
We could go to Saudi Arabia again. It was a really interesting country. If they do the rally again, I think we'll be very interested in going. There were places that we heard about in the country that we want to go visit, and it was a wonderful place to visit.
So now that you've got a little bit better idea of how it works, you can kind of schedule a little time coming in front or a little bit after, kind of get a little more value out of your expenses.
Yeah. We only knew we were going 2 weeks before the rally, so
hurry up and
we didn't have a lot of time.
Planned way ahead on this one.
Yeah.
Did you guys have to wear headscarves?
We did not. So they recently changed the rules about what visiting women are allowed to wear. So we just dressed kind of conservatively, long pants, long sleeves, and everybody was totally fine with that.
Now, you said you do this in California. Where do you do it in California? Living in San Diego, Southern California, do you go down to the Mexico, the Baja? How do you do that?
Yeah, I mean, there's so much great off-road driving just in California and Nevada. I mean, a lot of people do go down to Mexico. We actually compete in another rally that starts in Lake Tahoe and kind of winds through California and Nevada and ends in Glamis, which are the big sand dunes just north of the border.
Mm-hmm.
So pretty much, I mean, there's just so many places you can go. That's probably the closest sand is the Glamis sand dunes, which are pretty spectacular. They film a lot of Hollywood movies there, like Star Wars, and any place you need a big field of sand.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
What cars do each of you drive on a daily basis? Just asking.
I drive a Land Rover Defender and also an LR4. And in the rallies in California, we compete in an LR4. And Susie?
I drive an Audi Q7, which I love.
I was just curious because, I mean, if you're obviously car people and are doing rallies, you've got to have your own personal car. It's always interesting to find out what people choose to drive on a daily basis.
Yeah.
And that's interesting. So have you ever driven any of the Land Rover products off-road?
Yes. In the rally in California, my partner and I always drive an LR4. And my personal LR4 has actually been in this California rally as well. My daughter-in-law drove it one year, but they do really well. They, we put some good tires on them. We put skid plates on the bottom. And other than that,
how in the world did you
gas tank if it seems to be needed, but usually there's gas along the way. If not at a gas station, they'll provide a gas truck.
What do you do normally? I mean, are you in the automotive industry somehow in your other lives or what?
Oh, no, not at all. We're in the restaurant business.
Oh, interesting. So how did you get started in this? How long ago was that? And clearly it appealed to you to the point where you're doing this now on a semi, if not professional basis.
No, not professional. Annual, but not professional.
Okay. Well, I mean, I don't know anybody else that does, other than Sue Mead.
Yeah.
I don't know anybody else that does organized rallies.
Yeah. So I think where this started was Emily Miller, the woman that I was talking about, called up a friend of ours who's in the car business. So they own car dealerships in San Diego. And at the time she was managing Jag Land Rover in San Diego. So she got this call out of the blue saying, I know this great women's event, off-roading, and I wondered if you had any customers that wanted to compete. And my friend, who's very adventurous, said, I don't know about my customers, or I'll ask around, but I want to compete. So Emily sort of took her under her wing and taught her about this style of rally racing. And she basically came back from her first rally and looked at me and said, you would love this. It's like a big puzzle, and you drive through the desert and you find these waypoints. It's like capture the flag. And she got me hooked. And then I think our mom saw us having so much fun that they wanted in too.
Yeah. The first rally was in Morocco.
Oh, wow.
It's called the Gazelle Rally. And that, we've both done that. And it just finished up this week, I think, in Morocco. It's either just about to finish, or it's because I've been seeing the Instagram pictures, but that one is very similar to this California rally. There are flags. You go to a flag. You have no GPS in your car for those rallies. You have a map and a compass and a plotter, and you plot your way from checkpoint to checkpoint.
I think it sounds like an absolute ton of fun.
Yep.
Get you a partner that, can read a map, and can multitask and keep their eyes on the road with you so they know where you are. You don't have to tell them or anything. And you guys, hit your waypoints and try to get there on the time allotted, and away you go. So what's your next event?
The Rebel Rally in October.
Okay, so you're going to take the summer off, as it were.
Yes.
Is there any practice time? Do you have things that you can do to keep your skills sharpened, or do you just kind of put those away until October?
People are practicing all year long. I know that. We generally tune up maybe a month before. I'll bring out the maps and the compasses and do some plotting on my own. And but this will be my 7th time for the Rebel Rally. So
fantastic.
It's kind of dialed in a little bit. But
who does most of the driving when you two are together?
When we're together, I do the driving because she's a better navigator than I am.
Okay, so it's not a switch
I'm
off.
a little scared when I drive. I think it's a mother thing, with the hand in the front and the.
Yeah, that's right.
So I thought it would be best for her to drive, and she's a great driver. Is also helps.
Well, that's great. Well, listen, we have thoroughly enjoyed this interview. You guys are great and fun to talk to. Please stay in touch with us. And let's do this again when we get closer to October and find out about the Rebel Rally and get caught up. Give Sue Mead our best when you see her or talk to her again. And best of luck to both of you. Thanks so much.
We could do a remote at a restaurant.
Yeah, we could come out there when we're in Las Vegas and maybe make our way over to San Diego at one of your restaurants.
Good.
We'd love to have you.
Thank you very much. Dana, Susie, Saxton, thanks again. We'll talk to you guys soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
That was fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We're getting more and more of the women aspect with these road rallies and car clubs and things. Mike's doing a good job in contacting these people and getting them on as more of a variety.
Let me tell you something. So years ago, this is my first adventure in the Corvette Club. This was back, I want to say it was the late 80s. I'm sorry, late 70s. And one of the things that the Corvette Club offered was a rally. Mm-hmm. And it was similar, not a speed event, but you had to find these clues along the way. It was almost kind of like a hunt along the way to find the clues, and you had to complete the clue. They would give you clues to where the clue is, and then you'd find it, and then you'd have to put two and two together, and that you'd write down in the book.
Right.
And then you would move on to the next location.
Right.
And this is before GPS and all of that. And it was fun. But both you, your passenger, or your navigator had to really be in tune with one another and be on the lookout for what showed up in the book.
Right.
And they handed you the book when you went to the green light.
Mm-hmm.
So you didn't have time to go through it all. You were on the road when you went through it.
It's like a poker run what they have today.
Exactly.
Kind of like that, yeah.
A poker run.
Mm-hmm.
And then maybe that's what they called it. I don't recall.
Then, yeah.
But what they're doing, it sounds very familiar, along the lines of a poker run.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But tons of fun.
Yeah. Yeah. And Morocco and all the places.
I'm thinking of James Cagney. I'm thinking of Morocco.
Yeah.
The Kasbah and all that.
Absolutely.
Dangerous places.
Yeah.
You can get killed over there.
Oh yeah. We could start a rally down in maybe Wharton or something.
Yeah, yeah. I was going to tell you.
Or
I got
Juarez.
Yeah, Juarez. San Juan. I got a call the other day, and they're going to run a little rally over there in my part of the world. It's kind of a historic type rally, where
Is it going to be the oil patch rally?
Golden Triangle.
They're not calling it that, but it's a lot of historic stuff, and it does go out to Spindletop. It does include that and some of the museums and stuff downtown in Beaumont.
Very cool.
You going to take the in-wheel time truck on it?
In-wheel time machine.
I'm giving it some serious thought. I'm waiting to hear the final
Would
details.
you please get the reference to the radio station off of there? Because if you don't, I will go out there with a razor blade, and there will be a blank place there for you to fill in, because that's going to go off of that truck.
I asked the guy if he could do that, and he said he could, but he'd rather me come up with a design to cover it up. We're working on that.
If you don't, there's going to be a Saturday that I'm going to leave the studio, and I'm going to go out there.
Strip your truck.
In about 5 minutes, I'll be back with those two pieces of the vinyl wrap that's on there.
He's got a little ice scraper, and he's just got that little corner off.
No, it won't be that.
We're working on it.
You should have run it through Mecum this weekend, the in-wheel time machine.
Oh, no.
And
then I'd have to buy something else.
Hey, and trade it for that fuzzy van.
Oh,
you know, I would have done that, but that leads me to another story. I called to check on my part, my ABS module that I ordered last September.
This is on the recall on the truck.
Yes. It was supposed to be here in December, then they moved it to January, then they moved it to March. Now they moved it to March 2023.
Oh, my goodness.
What are you doing over there?
I just dropped it.
So. Okay.
Thank you, Michael.
It is time now for This Week in Auto History. And we've got just enough time to get this in before the end of the show. So let's get going, and I'll be waiting for you to go.
All right, here we go. In 1932, Ford Motor Company publicly unveiled its V8 8-cylinder engine, which was very cool. In 1947, Mike, Preston Tucker announced his concept for a new automobile to be named the Tucker, having built a reputation as an engineer during World War II when he served as a general manager of this company, an Ypsilanti machine and tool company.
And he had a mother named Tucker.
Yeah, Mother Tucker, right. Tucker looked to capitalize on the high demand of the cars for the post-condition offered. In 1956, Mike, Alfred P. Sloan stepped down after 19 years as chairman of General Motors, with Albert Bradley elected as his successor. Sloan is recognized as the creator of the GM Corporation as it exists today. Very good. That's a good idea. 1970, Don. AMC, the company that first introduced the compact car in the 50s, introduced the Gremlin, America's first subcompact car. AMC was the only major independent car company to survive in the 70s because of that small car right there. 1996, the Museum of Modern Art in New York City placed the Jaguar E-Type in its permanent exhibit. The E-Type was just the third car to be honored by the curators of the museum's permanent exhibition. That's a pretty car. That's wonderful. 2009, on March 29, 2009, Rick Wagner, the chairman and chief executive of troubled auto giant General Motors, resigns at the request of the Obama administration. During Wagner's more than 8 years in the top job at GM, the company lost billions of dollars, and in the 2008 year was surpassed by Japanese-based Toyota as the world's top-selling maker of cars and trucks, a title the American automaker had held since 1930s. Wow. Slap in the face, Will Robinson. There you go.
And that's it?
That's it.
That's This Week in Auto History.
Yep. Moving. We're moving, baby.
You said to hurry. He hurried.
He hurried.
I didn't tell you to hurry. I just said let's keep a move on.
He moved on.
I'll say, boy, that was the quickest. That was the quickest This Week in Auto History.
You won't never get Conrad to do it that fast.
No, not at all. It's more along the lines of, hey, Conrad, kill it.
Conrad, we miss you. We love you. Have fun.
American Honda Motor Company expanding its certified pre-owned program to include 10-year-old Honda and Acura vehicles. I thought that was an interesting story. The warranty's not as long on them, needless to say, but at least they are a certified pre-owned.
Mm-hmm.
Volkswagen recalling 100,000 plug-in hybrid vehicles globally due to the risk of a thermal event. 42,000 Passat, Golf, and Tiguan and Arteon models, while Audi will recall 24,000 of its vehicles. Toyota revving back into the hot hatch market with the new all-wheel drive Corolla developed by its in-house Gazoo racing team and powered by a power-dense 3-cylinder engine. You go Toyota. All right. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to wrap up today's show right after these brief messages.
Father's Day weekend, Saturday, June 18th, 2022. It's the next Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise-In, and you're invited. Tailpipes and Tacos Father's Day edition will be at the same Loopy Tortilla in Katy, 8 to 11 a.m. on Saturday, June 18th. It's the only place cruisers compete for trophies and other prizes. Enter your vehicle for Best Hot Rod, Best Classic, and Best Modern Classic. Tailpipes and Tacos is Houston's coolest cruise-in and is your opportunity to see the best hot rods, show cars, classics, and resto mods, and get Loopy Tortilla breakfast tacos and adult beverages. There's no entry fee, and cars will automatically compete for custom Loopy trophies and other prizes. It all happens at the Loopy Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard, just south of I-10. Kick off summer with Tailpipes and Tacos Father's Day edition, Saturday, June 18th. The In Real Time Car Talk Show will be there too. Celebrate Father's Day, the start of summer, and the return of Tailpipes and Tacos. Saturday morning, June 18th, 8 to 11. We'll see you then, weather permitting.
Mecum Auctions, the world's largest collector car auction company, returns to Houston March 31st through April 2nd at NRG Center. Featuring 1,000 muscle cars, Corvettes, trucks, customs, and more. Broadcast live on Motor Trend TV and Motor Trend Plus. We welcome everyone to Houston to bid in person, and enhanced online bidding and telephone options make it easy to join the Mecum experience from anywhere in the world. Register to bid now at Mecum.com.
The In Real Time Car Talk Show is now part of the iHeart family. Now you'll have access to 24/7 Car Talk anytime you need a fix. Just download the iHeart Radio app and ask for In Real Time Car Talk, and there we are. Be sure to save us in your iHeart library for instant access. No matter where you are, you have the best Car Talk Show right on your PC, laptop, or mobile device and never have to worry about finding us again. Of course, you can always get access to our video and audio streams via InRealTime.com and your favorite podcast channel, and all of this is free to you. From the iHeart Radio app, you'll not only hear our Saturday morning live show, but the best shows of the past, updated weekly. Never miss a minute of up-to-date new car reviews, pre-owned reviews, Conrad's Car Clinic, informative interviews, automotive news, and the most fun car talk show on the planet. Just download the iHeart Radio app, search for In Real Time Car Talk, save it to your library, and with a tap of the icon, you'll be in touch with your favorite Car Talk team. In Real Time Car Talk, streaming now on iHeart.com/In Real Time Car Talk.
Well, you know what that sound means.
What?
That's a wrap for this week's In Real Time Car Talk Show on iHeartRadio. Hey, when you're on our Facebook page, Please give us a like, tell your friends about us, and share our junk if you would, please. You'll get Conrad's Unicorn hunting features along with all things automotive all week long. There'll be some fun stuff in there too, including upcoming events, cruise-ins, and other goodies. The In-Wheel Time Car Show is on 24/7 on iHeartRadio, both online and through the iHeart app. Find us at In-Wheel Time Car Talk. We're still streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and InWheelTime.com every Saturday, 8 to 11 Central. 30-minute podcasts are available from your favorite podcast outlet 7 days a week. The In-Wheel Time Chief Engineer is David Ainsley. Our Marketing, Advertising Manager, and Video Technical Director is We Need More, Jeff Zekin.
Yes, sir.
For Booking Agent and Podcast Editor, Mike Out of This World Mars, and his royalty but vacant King Conrad DeLong. I'm
Yes.
Don Armstrong. Today's show is produced by the Las Vegas All in Love Wedding Chapel. Be sure to join us again next week live for In-Wheel Time Car Talk from Studio A. Next Saturday, April 9th, 8 to 11 a.m. Central, right here on the Smoke and Mirrors Network. So long for now.